I was face down in the drink, getting absolutely battered by the waves. Like the ocean was personally trying to collect a debt. I'm clinging to what the system generously calls a raft, though it's really just a few twigs held together by pure hopes and prayers. You could literally see right through the gaps to the water below. 2 square meters of pure, unadulterated disappointment. Oh, and I'm also clutching a giant softshell turtle. Why? Because 5 minutes ago, I was just a normal, broke college student chilling by the river with a fishing rod. I reeled in this absolute unit of a turtle, its shell the size of a wash basin, and I was already mentally drafting the recipe. Red braised soup? Nah. I wanted to go all out for the fancy dish. I was mid-daydream when everything abruptly went pitch black. Next thing I know, open ocean, baby. Everywhere. Not a shred of land in sight, just an endless sea of blue. The kind of blue that makes your soul pack its bags and leave your body. Then, a floating screen pops up right in front of me, looking like the world's most aggressive pop-up ad. Global Ocean Survival System activated. Nearly 10 billion players are about to play this game. And yes, you die for real. You've got 3 days before sea monsters show up to snack on you. Good luck. Have fun. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Love that for me. I'm an orphan who grew up bouncing around welfare homes. 0 family, 0 connections, and I barely scraped through college. I can't even jog 800 meters without sounding like a broken engine. Naturally, the system rated my physical stats at a pitiful 0.3, meaning I'm a certified couch potato whose peak exercise is walking to the fridge. Thanks for the brutal honesty, system. And my starter pack? 1 lonely liter of water and 200 grams of dry-ass crackers. That's not a survival kit, bro. That's a budget airline snack. My raft doesn't even have a propulsion system. It just drifts wherever the cruel current feels like dragging me. I am literally just a piece of driftwood with clinical anxiety. So there I am, sitting cross-legged and nibbling on my depressing crackers, locking eyes with this turtle who keeps poking its head out like, bro, what is actually happening right now? When another notification flares up, this one looks ancient, elite, and way too flashy, rimmed with dark gold borders and crackling with mysterious runes. Beast taming system activated. Want to form a pact with this turtle? I stared down at the turtle, it stared right back, and straight up opened its maw like it was judging my entire existence. You know what? Screw it. What's the worst that could happen? I mashed yes, and the turtle went supernova, glowing like it swallowed an entire light bulb, instantly ballooning in size, its shell thickening up, its legs getting insanely beefy, and its claws turning razor sharp. My tiny little dinner plate pet just evolved into a full-on armored war beast. In like 5 seconds flat, the system helpfully tagged it as a giant tortoise, capable of ferrying riders, swimming, and deflecting heavy blows. I was stoked for precisely half a second, right before my raft snapped clean in half. Because of course it did. A flimsy 2 square meter pile of twigs can't support a massive 100-pound battle tank of a turtle. Frigid water came gushing through the fractures, and I'm screaming every profanity in the book, while scrambling onto that turtle shell, like my life depends on it, because it literally, genuinely does. The system made the rules crystal clear. Lose your vehicle, and you either beg for sanctuary or freeze your butt off. I scanned the horizon. Absolute zero, not a single living player in sight. So let me get this straight. I just beat Ice Guide, unlocked an overpowered cheat level system, and I'm still about to get Una-lived. In the literal tutorial, the universe really looked at me, handed me a shred of hope, and ripped it away for a laugh. Then, out of nowhere, pure divine intervention. The survival system chimes in once more. New vehicle detected, giant tortoise. Bind as primary vehicle? I have never slammed a confirmation button faster in my entire life. The exact second I bound Shan Wu as my official ride. A rush of pure thermal energy flooded my system, feeling like someone shot hot liquid gold straight into my veins. My muscles were literally twitching, and my joints were popping like bubble wrap. Honestly, it felt better than, well, actually walking up a flight of stairs, which used to feel like a near-death experience. The notification popped up. My core stats skyrocketed, pushing constitution to 1.4, speed to 1.2, and strength sitting at 1.0 compared to before. Hauling a single water jug used to wreck me. Now I felt like I could bench press a whole sack of rice. Puberty hit me for a second round. Apparently 3 square meters of solid turtle shell. Gives you 50% more legroom than my trash raft and stays completely steady. Sean Woo's back had natural traction grooves built right in. Literally engineered with anti-slip flooring. I stood up tall. And didn't instantly faceplant straight into the deep blue. Now that's what I call progress. Best part? I could actually steer. Just thought, go that way. And Sean Woo executed it via absolute mind control. My turtle's running on high-speed Wi-Fi. We cruised right up to a floating pile of wreckage. And I started scooping up everything in sight. Operating like the saddest garbage collector alive. Scraps of wood. Shredded plastic. Beat-up cloth. More wood. And even more plastic. I was out here hustling recycling on the apocalypse ocean. Living my absolute best trash panda lifestyle. Then I flicked open the global chat. Oh boy, absolute chaos was unfolding. People screaming bloody murder about wanting to go back home. While others were desperately flexing their awakened talents. Most chumps pulled basic D or C rank abilities. Stunt stuff like carrying groceries slightly better or swimming marginally faster. Though you're still completely terrified of the water. Super useful in a hardcore ocean survival scenario. Where literally nobody wants to touch the ocean. Someone in chat brought up S-rank talents. The general consensus was that maybe one single player in our entire district of 100,000 might actually have one. Right then, I spotted a helpful whale named Data Emperor, explaining that everyone gets a secondary talent, that they have to awaken separately. Wait a minute. My beast taming gig isn't even my main talent. That's just my personal built-in cheat code. I get an entirely separate ability on top of that. I smashed that awakening button so lightning fast. The system flashed, spun wildly, and dropped an S-rank talent on me. Farming Master. Crop growth speed literally doubled. Plus a sweet 30% chance of mutating crops. I stared blankly at the screen for a solid 5 seconds. I'm stranded on the open ocean riding 3 square meters of turtle shell. 0 dirt, 0 seeds in sight. Not even a flower pot. I have less arable land than a tiny studio apartment balcony. And even calling that farmland is generous. Farming Master out here on the high seas. Huge shout out to the universe for this absolute circus. So I'm the legendary S-rank guy everyone's losing their minds over, and my overpowered cheat is completely useless right now. Half lucky? The cosmos handed me a Ferrari and forgot to build the highway. I let out a heavy sigh and slapped the turtle shell. Your name is Sean Woo from now on. No more daydreaming about turning you into soup. You're my ride, my crib, and my absolute bestie in this waterlogged nightmare. Sean Woo let out a deep, low rumble. I'm just gonna assume that meant, hell yeah. Sick name, bro. Then I checked his maintenance stats. And my brain literally blue-screened. 100 pounds of meat a day or 10 energy points. Are you kidding? 100 pounds? I don't even weigh that much. Everybody else's rafts just float along. Mind in their own damn business. 0 upkeep. Meanwhile, my vehicle has a bottomless pit for a stomach. I basically adopted a teenager with 0 crystals. 0 meat, 0 zilch. My overpowered pet is about to starve on day 1. Unless I pull a miracle out of my hat. So I did what any desperate survivalist would do. I became a full-time oceanic garbage man. Sean Woo paddled around while I hung off his shell, grabbing every stray piece of floating trash I could get my hands on. 0 glamour, but hey, it's honest work. Meanwhile, the world chat was absolute chaos, with everyone hyperventilating over raft upgrades. They needed 30 wood, 30 plastic, and 20 cloth scraps just to crawl from level 0 to level 1. Folks were scraping by with, like 7 chunks of driftwood a morning. Me? I just need crystals. 1 resource type. Hunt monsters. Snag crystals, level up. Sounds simple on paper, but in reality? Nobody's trying to throw hands with sea beasts using a fishing rod. Except for some absolute mad lad, who literally duct-taped a stone knife to his fishing pole. And brutally stabbed a mutant fish to death for a single crystal. Chat was calling him a psychotic menace. I called him my absolute idol. Then, right while I was elbow-deep in floating garbage, something caught my eye. A wooden crate glowing faintly in the distance. A literal loot drop. My luck just walked through the front door wearing a custom-tailored suit. I told Sean Woo to put the pedal to the metal and hustle toward that glowing box. Like we were chasing an ice cream truck. Up close it was just a plain wooden box. With some scratches on it. A common tier treasure chest. Literally the bottom of the loot table. But when your net worth is 1 turtle, and some wet crackers, even garbage tier loot feels like Christmas morning. I hauled it up. Thing was heavy. Good thing my stats got buffed. Or I would have yeeted myself into the ocean. Trying to lift it, I popped it open. 3 cans of pork, 2 bottles of water. 10 F-rank crystals and a spear blueprint. My heart was doing drum solos. No more starving. The spear blueprint was a one-time use freebie. Just feed it 10 wood and boom. Instant weapon, no crafting table needed. Free pointy stick, don't mind if I do. I activated the blueprint. 10 pieces of my precious garbage would vanished. In a flash of light. And suddenly I'm holding an actual spear. Sharp tip, smooth shaft. Feels great in the hand. I gave it a couple swings. Look at me, ocean warrior Poseidon who. Then I looked at those 10 crystals. 10 crystals equals 10 energy points. Upgrading Shan Wu costs 10 energy points. Exactly 10. My hands were shaking. I was so excited my legs wouldn't stay together. System, you beautiful. Beautiful machine, I could kiss you. I fed every crystal to Shan Wu. And smashed that upgrade button. What happened next was like watching a building inflate. Shan Wu's shell started glowing. Then growing 3 square meters, 5, 8, 12. 15 square meters. That's bigger than the crappy apartment I used to rent in Shanghai. I, a broke city worker, now had more living space on the back of a magic turtle than I ever had on land. If that's not a glow-up, I don't know what is. Shan Wu wasn't even called giant tortoise anymore. He evolved into a water control turtle. Level 1 with a brand new ability. He could control water currents. And the stat feedback slammed into me like an absolute freight train of pure dopamine. My stats practically tripled: constitution sitting at 4.7. Speed 4.5, strength 4.3. I went from a wheezing, burnout college kid to an absolute menace. In literally one afternoon, bro. And oh yeah, I unlocked a legit superpower. Water blade. I could mentally grip seawater, spin it into a razor-sharp disc, and hurl it at will. I tested it out immediately. Because with a flick of my wrist, a whirling crescent of high-pressure water fired off and carved a massive half-meter gash right across the ocean surface. The sea literally split wide open for 2 seconds flat, before violently crashing back together. I just stood there frozen, jaw completely dropped. I'm basically a full-blown waterbender now. Look out, Avatar, Lin Bei is riding the Turtle Express. Then the system blared a server-wide broadcast, pinging everyone in our starter zone. Huge shout-out to player Lin Bei for being the absolute first to upgrade their vehicle to level 1 reward, a black iron treasure chest. The global chat channel went completely ballistic. Wait, it's only been like 6 hours, how? Who is this guy? Master, please carry me. Notice me. I haven't even sniffed a wooden chest yet. And this mad lad is already pulling black iron. Not gonna lie, that ego boost felt incredible. Every guy's got a little show-off living inside him. And mine was doing backflips on the spot. Until reality roundhouse kicked me straight in the teeth 2 seconds later. Shan Wu's daily food upkeep just doubled. We're talking 200 pounds of meat or 20 energy points a day now. Plus, the next upgrade demands a insane 100 crystals. My wallet is weeping and I don't even own a wallet. I instantly smashed block on all the random friend requests flooding in. Sorry homies, this isn't a charity organization. And checked out what new tech I could build at level 1. Level 1 workbench unlocked, basic crafting. Let's go. I set it up right on top of Shan Wu's shell. Boom, turtle with built-in furniture. We're practically a luxury houseboat now. Then I finally ripped open that black iron chest. 10 loaves of fresh bread, 5 bottles of purified water, 15 extra crystals, and the grand prize, an automatic seawater converter. This blueprint turns raw ocean water straight into drinkable H2O, pumping out 200 milliliters an hour. In a brutal wasteland where desperate survivors were literally trading 10 solid blocks of wood for a single water bottle. This device was absolute liquid gold. Pun totally intended. The catch is it demands a single piece of glass to craft. And my inventory is sitting at a crisp, tragic 0 glass. I scoured the trading channel to see people begging for glass, and 0 people selling. Glass is apparently way rarer than basic common sense in this hellscape, so I dropped my own aggressive listing. Buying glass right now, name your price. Let's make a deal. Then I checked the requirements to upgrade my busted fishing rod, which requires iron nails that I also completely lack. So here I am, chilling on the shell of my 15 square meter magic water turtle, wielding a spear infused with wild waterbending abilities, hauling an S rank. Farming talent I can't even use because there is 0 dirt in sight. and holding a blueprint I can't build because nobody has glass. Day 1 isn't even over and I'm already juggling. More total chaos than a circus clown on unicycles. The second I finally hammered down that workbench, my inbox detonated with desperate trade offers for glass. First guy rolls up swinging wild. I got glass, I want 5 full bottles of water. 5 bottles? In what brutal economic collapse? I clapped back with a single bottle offer. Pure take it or leave it savage energy. Cold as ice, zero room for negotiation. You're so heartless. Do you even know how rare glass is out here? Listen, my guy, I'm sitting on endless food and water. You're dying of thirst. We are definitely not operating from the same leverage. Bro folded in under 30 seconds flat. One single bottle of water secured one pristine piece of glass. Masterclass in the art of the deal, baby. I immediately slammed that glass onto the workbench, alongside the wood and plastic scrap, and crafted myself a brand new seawater converter. It honestly looks like a cheap plastic lunchbox with a funnel, hastily duct taped to the top, ugly as absolute sin. But it purifies toxic ocean brine into crisp drinking water. At 200 milliliters an hour, pumping out nearly 5 liters a day. In a brutal realm where everyone else is desperately trading 10 massive wood planks for a single pathetic water bottle. I just built an infinite money glitch. And right then it hit me, the ultimate big brain play. Talk about a galaxy brain play. My S-rank talent is farming master. I've got 15 square meters of turtle and a built-in water source. Now I can actually farm. Honestly, I owe God a massive apology. I called you a clown earlier, but you were playing for D-chess the entire time. A turtle farming talent, plus a water converter equals pure ocean agriculture. I'm not even surviving anymore. I'm straight up homesteading. I instantly started mapping out my turtle estate in my head. A cozy little shelter dead center, complete with a workbench and a bed. Everything else? Pure arable land. 10 square meters of prime farmland, sitting right here on Shen Wu's back. And once he levels up and gets even bigger, we're talking a full-blown mega farm. I'm about to be the old MacDonald of the apocalypse. That's when my cutthroat business brain kicked into overdrive. I only need crystals to upgrade my stuff. Wood, plastic, and cloth are totally useless to me. Meanwhile, other players are dying for those exact materials, just to patch up their junky rafts, meaning I can flip my trash for their precious crystals. I'm basically running an elite ocean pawn shop. I slapped my entire inventory onto the trade board, canned pork for 2 crystals, bread for 1, 10 wood for 1, and 10 plastic for a single crystal. The chat went completely unhinged. Wait, someone's actually trading food? An entire loaf of bread for only 1 crystal? Lin Bei is way too stingy. I'm hoarding my crystals. Who knows what they're even for? Everyone had hot takes, but absolutely nobody had any crystals. Classic internet. 100,000 armchair experts, and 0 actual customers. I didn't even bother replying. Let them guess why I'm stacking crystals. The less those clowns know, the better. While scrolling through the absolute chaos, I struck gold. Some guy was selling 5 iron nails for a single bottle of water. Iron nails. I needed precisely 3 of those to craft a level 1 fishing rod. I slammed that trade faster than a Wall Street broker on a caffeine bender. Built that brand new rod right on the spot. And let me tell you, this thing was light years ahead of the starter garbage. Solid wood body, durable nylon line, and a heavy-duty hook. The system confirmed it could reel in bigger fish and harvest resources way more efficiently. My twig of a starter rod just evolved into an actual weapon. I ripped off a chunk of bread, stuck it on the hook, and cast my line into the deep blue. 10 minutes of pure silence. Just me kicking back on my giant turtle, legs dangling, actually peaceful, almost relaxing until the bobber violently plunged. I waited, let the fish fully commit, let it really chomp down. Then I planted both feet on Shen Wu's shell, grabbed the rod with a death grip, and put all my weight into what was on the other end, hauling back hard. If this had happened 6 hours ago, when I was a 0.3 noodle boy, I'd be sleeping with the fishes right now. But I'm a 4-point stat beast now. Peak human, built completely different. The rod bent double, the line screamed, and honestly, I couldn't help myself. 18 dragons subduing casts. Yeah, I actually yelled an anime attack name. While fishing. Totally alone on a turtle in the middle of the open ocean. Judge me all you want. There's 0 witnesses and it felt legendary. I yanked with everything I had. Something massive exploded out of the water and crashed heavily onto Shan Wu's back. 1/2 meter of pure, ugly gray-black scales, bulging eyes, and a mouth full of fangs. That looked like nature's absolute worst dentistry. Its tail was thrashing against the shell, like an angry Karen at a fast food counter. The system instantly tagged it, ugly monster fish, a frank sea beast. I stood right over it with my spear dripping wet, grinning like a maniac. Dinner just delivery dashed itself. That fish was legitimately so hideous I flinched. I've seen some rough morning faces in my college dorm, but this thing made them look like supermodels. Still, survival world really changed the game for me. I used to be the guy who couldn't even swat a bug, and now I'm standing on a colossal turtle, holding a spear over a nightmare fish. Talk about a character development speedrun. I drove the spear down, one hit, completely done. The system popped up. 1 crystal secured, plus 20 pounds of premium meat. Not bad for my debut kill. Shan Wu's eating good tonight. Right on cue, the server-wide announcement dropped again. For the entire village. Huge shout-out to player Lin Bei for scoring the absolute first sea beast kill. The chat completely lost its mind. This guy again, first to upgrade and first to secure a kill. He's literally hacking. What is this? Turns out I accidentally became famous twice in one day. Oops, but honestly feels amazing. Not gonna lie, another black iron chest dropped as my reward. Popped that bad boy open for 10 more crystals. 5 loaves of bread, 3 water bottles. 5 iron nails, pushing my energy points all the way to 37. We are officially cooking. Then inspiration hit me. I looked at Shan Wu. Shan Wu looked right back at me. Listen buddy, if you spot fish down there, just snag them yourself. Be a self-sufficient turtle. Shan Wu slowly turned his heavy head, stared straight at me with those beady little eyes, and rolled them. Did this turtle just give me attitude? I could literally feel his energy through our bond. It basically translated to, I already have an owner and I still gotta hunt my own meals. This reptile has the sheer audacity of a house cat. Think of it as a workout, I told him. He completely ignored me, glided forward, and casually snatched a fish right out of the water. With his jaws. Swallowed it whole without even sparing me a glance. Good turtle, that's my boy. So now we had a smooth system running. Me fishing up top, Shan Wu doing field work down below. Double the income, peak corporate efficiency. We were essentially a 2-man startup, where the sole employee is a giant turtle, and the CEO is a broke college dropout. Riding standing up on his shell. About an hour later, I spotted another treasure chest bobbing nearby. Only this one came with a squatter. Some fat gray blob was sunbathing right on top of it. A reef beast, essentially a chubby seal with massive anger issues. The system profile tagged it as lazy. Prefers sleeping on hard flat surfaces. Relatable. Honestly, I steered Shan Wu in closer. The reef beast lazily cracked open one eye, checked us out, decided we weren't even worth the effort, and went right back to sleep. The absolute disrespect. Fine. I was about to grab my spear. Then it hit me. Why do hard labor when I've got an intern? Shan Wu seeking. Shan Wu glided in and clamped his jaws right onto the chunky seal's flipper. The seal snapped awake screaming and bit down hard on Shan Wu's shell. Didn't even leave a scratch. Shan Wu's shell is basically forged from Nokia phone material. Just a few bites later, Shan Wu snapped its neck. Clinical and clean, my turtle is an absolute hitman. Best part is the kill still counted toward my crystals. 30 pounds of fresh meat straight into my inventory. I don't even have to lift a finger anymore. I just point the way and Shan Wu handles the rest. I'm not a frontline warrior, I'm a manager. I looted the chest too. Wood, plastic, cloth, water, standard basic loot. But hey, free is free. By late afternoon, the entire chat channel's vibe had completely flipped. All those clowns calling me stingy earlier today were now begging for scraps. Please someone sell me food. I'll trade 5 plastic for literally 1 bite of anything. I haven't eaten since this morning. And guess whose trade listings suddenly started flying off the shelves? Mine. Bread for 1 crystal, sold. Pork for 2 crystals, sold. More bread, sold. The exact same people who ranted that 1 bread for 1 crystal was way too expensive were now slamming the buy button. Like their lives literally depended on it. Because they did, while my energy points skyrocketed from 23 to 37. As I sat back stacking crystals. Like a smug toll booth operator. Then someone in chat posted their crazy upgrade requirements. For a level 2 raft, 100 wood, 100 plastic, 80 cloth, 30 iron nails and 10 iron bars. People were having actual heart attacks in the comments. Most couldn't even finish their level 1 upgrade yet. But here's the kicker detail. No crystals needed. Ship upgrades don't use crystals at all. Which means regular players still have zero reason to hoard them. Meaning my crystal monopoly continues unchecked. Nobody knows why I'm hoarding them. And I plan to keep it that way. As the sun set on day 1. I checked my stats. Body level 4.5. 37 energy points toward the milestone 100. Over 50 pounds of fish meat stocked up securely. And the water converter humming along nicely. Spear in hand, turtle beneath me. Not bad for a guy who woke up this morning. Face down on a pile of sticks. Holding a turtle he was planning to eat. Dinner was a can of mystery meat and dry bread. Glamorous, I know. I'm basically a Michelin star chef. If the star was drawn in crayon, I would kill for a pot, a stove, a kitchen, even a microwave. But my level 1 turtle doesn't come with appliances. No roof either. I looked up at the sky and prayed it wouldn't rain. Because my house is a reptile. And my ceiling is the universe. Sean Woo ate his own catches throughout the day. So he was half full. I tossed him some extra fish meat. Gotta keep the landlord happy. I grabbed my fishing rod. Planning to do some night grinding. My body was buzzing with energy. Turns out when your stats are 4.5, sleep becomes optional. Years of college. All-nighters finally paying off. Cast the line out and then I noticed something. The ocean floor was staring at me. Dozens of glowing eyes everywhere. Like someone dumped a bag of glow sticks into the abyss. The entire seabed had turned into a nightclub for monsters. The chat channel was having a collective panic attack. Oh god, there's eyes under my raft. I'm gonna die. Calm down, newbie. Protection means they won't attack. Are you sure the system said so? Oh thank god. I almost peed myself. Everyone was terrified me. I saw a buffet. These idiots are just floating there. They can't attack me, they won't fight back. They're literally practice dummies. With loot inside them. This isn't a horror movie. This is a grinding session. Sean, will you see those eyes? Low rumble from the turtle. We're going shopping. I stood on Sean Woo's head. Like the world's dumbest action hero. Spear raised. And we cruised toward the nearest pair of glowing eyes. Ugly monster fish, same species as before. Just hovering there staring at me like a total creep. Not even moving, not even attacking. Literally just vibing. I jammed my spear straight through its skull. It wiggled twice and flatlined. 1 crystal down, 20 pounds of meat secured. Next up, Sean Woo paddled over to the next target. Stab, dead, harvest the crystal. Grab the meat, rinse and repeat down the line. The surrounding sea beasts didn't even flinch. When I brutally murdered their neighbors. Zero solidarity, absolute zero teamwork. Just oh well. Guess Frank bit the dust anyway. These creatures have the collective survival instincts of a potato. I was literally running an assembly line. Spear goes in, crystal comes out. Spear goes in, crystal comes out. Though I mixed in a water blade occasionally for flavor. But that drains stamina, so I saved it for actual crowds. After an hour of this, I spotted a black iron chest guarded by 5 nasty sea beasts. Oh, a mini boss encounter please. At this point I've been grinding these things. Like I'm clocking into a mandatory graveyard shift. Sean Woo, go time. Sean Woo plowed straight into them like a runaway bowling ball. While I went full apex berserker up top. Spear lunging left, spear thrusting right. Slashing a water blade right down the middle. All while Shuangmu was chomping from below. 10 minutes flat, 5 dead monsters. And literally 0 damage taken. Their pathetic teeth couldn't even scratch Shuangmu's scales. We are officially untouchable against any F-rank trash. Pockets full with 5 crystals, 110 pounds of meat plus the chest. I cracked open that black iron chest and almost lost my absolute mind. A permanent flower pot blueprint. Complete with rice seeds, 10 crystals and actual dirt. Fertile soil in the middle of the ocean. Do you realize what this means? Sure, the flower pot is tiny at only 0.3 square meters. But it comes preloaded with a 10% growth speed buff. Stack that multiplier with my S-rank farming master talent, which grants a massive 100% speed boost. And what normally takes 5 painful days to sprout is now dropping to 2, maybe 3 days. I can finally farm for real. Holy crap, the meme talent is actually legit. System, I take back every insult. You absolute masterclass playing dimensional genius. I safely stashed the seeds and got right back to grinding. No time to plant right now. There were still glowing eyes out there. And every single pair was a fresh crystal. Just waiting to be harvested. Stab. collect, stab, collect, stab, collect. After a while, I stopped feeling anything at all.
Pure robot mode.
My arms were moving entirely on autopilot. Spear in, loot out. Next target. I had become a fish-murdering machine with no off switch. Eventually, I finally looked up and realized the ocean had gone pitch black. No more glowing eyes. I had wiped them all out. Every single sea beast in this entire sector was gone. The local ecosystem just got completely obliterated. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, but from pure exhaustion. My fingers felt like overcooked noodles. Even my spear arm was practically begging for early retirement. I collapsed flat on Xian Wu's back, breathing like I just sprinted a marathon. Which honestly I basically did, a straight-up murder marathon. That's enough for tonight, buddy. Xian Wu grunted and stopped swimming. Even he was wiped out. During this break I pulled up my inventory. Over 50 F-rank crystals from combat alone, plus 500 pounds of raw meat stockpiled. Xian Wu could feast for days. I absorbed every single crystal in one go. The counter instantly jumped by 37. Between the chest bonus and this massive combat haul, that's 70 points in a single night. Total energy, 107. I needed 100 to upgrade Xian Wu to level 2. I had enough, but I didn't just smash the button right away. First, I crafted 3 heavy storage chests and organized my entire turtle, like a responsible adult. Wood in the first box, plastic in the second, food in the third. Everything neat, everything perfectly labeled. My turtle went from an absolute disaster zone to an IKEA showroom. Then I walked right to the center of Xian Wu's shell, took a deep breath and cracked my knuckles. Xian Wu upgrade time. I slammed the upgrade button, and Xian Wu started vibrating like a cell phone on a wooden table. Then he started expanding again. Only this time, it was like watching a skyscraper being built. In fast forward. The shell pushed outward. 20 square meters, 30, 40, 50, 50 square meters. That's literally a legit one-bedroom apartment. Zero management fees whatsoever. I went from flat-out homeless to a homeowner in 24 hours. And my brand new crib is literally alive and swimming. The shell is rocking these insane brown and blue patterns, swirling earth and water together. Like Mother Nature's personal interior designer. The edges curve right up into natural, solid walls, complete with built-in railings and safety features. This giant turtle comes with way more luxury amenities than my old cramped apartment. Then the stat feedback hit me and oh man, my stats skyrocketed from the 4s straight past 10. Constitution 10.3, speed 10.2, strength 10.1. I hopped and accidentally launched myself 3 meters into the air, nearly giving myself a heart attack. Because I totally forgot. I was standing on a moving turtle in the middle of the open ocean. Stuck the landing though. Mostly. New ability unlocked. Earth control. I can manipulate soil and rocks now. I looked down, water. I looked left, water. I looked right, even more water. Where is the soil supposed to be? Show me a single rock out here and I'll throw a massive party on it. Talk about an ability that sounds amazing on paper and is completely useless in my current situation. My entire talent collection is basically a bunch of things that would make me a god if I wasn't stranded floating on the ocean. Then the server-wide announcement blared again. Third time today, Lin Bei, the first player to hit level 2. The global chat had a complete mental breakdown. It's been 1 day. Is he even human? Carry me please. He's 100% hacking at this point. I'm pretty sure my name is turning into a curse word. Across this whole server. People probably stub their toe on something and yell out my name. Reward. A bronze treasure chest. Ooh, fancy. Way bigger than black iron with actual carved decorations. I ripped it open. A pet egg.
10 rank crystals.
A barbecue grill blueprint and more dirt. The pet egg was a pale, icy blue with delicate patterns, about the size of 2 fists. It hatches into a random functional pet in 12 hours. Random? Look, I've played gacha games before, so I know what random really means. It just means pure disappointment with extra steps. Screw it, whatever. I kicked off the incubation process. Let's see what kind of loot drop this lottery gifts me tomorrow morning. Just looking at the barbecue grill blueprint had me drooling. Actual cooked grub, no more choking down dry-ass bread and pure misery. Except it demands iron bars and stone blocks to actually craft. And I am sitting on a grand total of absolutely 0 for both. The universe keeps waving these juicy upgrades right in my face, like a carrot dangling on a stick. Only the stick is made of solid iron bars that I flat out don't own. Then I absorbed those E-rank crystals. These bad boys were way chunkier, darker, and shinier than those weak-ass F-rank drops. Each one packed roughly 10 energy points, instead of a pathetic single energy shot. Jumping up to 110 energy sounds amazing, right? Well, check out Sean Woo's brand new daily grocery bill. 500 pounds of raw meat, or 50 energy points burned per day. I went from barely scraping by trying to feed a large dog, straight to running an entire zoo on a $0 budget. Every single time I level up this giant turtle, its appetite expands twice as fast. That's not a pet, bro, that's a soul-crushing mortgage. At least the upgrade completely wiped his hunger meter clean, so tonight I'm taking whatever small WS I can get. I checked out what hitting level 2 actually unlocks. A level 2 workbench capable of building a legit wooden house, plus better weapons, upgraded fishing rods, furniture, everything a guy could ever need. Except it literally requires iron bars just to craft the upgrade. Again with the iron bars. Iron bars are my absolute nemesis. My sworn arch-nemesis. If iron bars were an actual person, I'd square up and fight them in a Walmart parking lot. Still, a basic wooden bed? That only needs standard wood and a few cloth scraps. Those I actually have. I slapped a bed together instantly and face-planted straight onto it. After sleeping on a hard-ass turtle shell all day long, this basic plank of wood topped with a cloth blanket felt like a 5-star luxury resort. I lined up my 3 storage chests right around it, acting as nightstands, total feng shui masterclass. Super cozy, interior design skills, absolute perfection. My overall living situation, still riding on a giant turtle. I desperately wanted to build an actual shelter too, walls, a roof, some solid protection from the elements. But that requires the level 2 workbench, which demands iron bars, which I still don't have. Are you sensing a theme here? Tomorrow's entire shopping list. Iron bars, and more damn iron bars. Plus stack up stone blocks and somehow scrounge up 500 pounds of grub for my bottomless living island. The chat was still going wild about me, right as I drifted off to sleep, with people arguing whether I pulled some secret S-rank talent, whether I'm straight up hacking, or if they should scramble to team up with me. Some players were already plotting how to muscle in on resources against heavy hitters like me. Best of luck with that, my friends. You're stranded on a pathetic stick raft, while I'm riding a massive 50-square-meter battle turtle, armed with water blades and earth manipulation. I threw my crusty scrap blanket over my shoulders and surrendered to pure exhaustion. It had easily been the longest, craziest, and most mind-blowing day of my entire existence. I woke up as a broke college kid just trying to fish, and I'm crashing as a turtle-riding, spear-wielding, crab-slaying, S-rank ocean farmer with double-digit stats, and a mysterious pet egg incubating right beside my bed. Day 1 is in the books with 2 days of newbie protection left. Tomorrow I go hard hunting for iron bars, and praying that egg doesn't hatch into some absolute troll. I woke up at the crack of dawn. Couldn't even sleep in because my body is too ridiculously healthy. Having stats past 10 points means my internal alarm clock literally has 0 snooze button. Suffering from absolute success right here. First move was hitting up the trade board for iron bars. 0 listings. Big surprise. Iron bars are basically the mythical beasts of this world. Everyone desperately needs them, but nobody has a single one. I'm starting to seriously think iron bars are just a cruel rumor. The system invented just to torture us. No iron bars means no level 2 workbench. No workbench means no proper kitchen. And no kitchen means more depressing dry bread. My taste buds are about to file a class action lawsuit. Whatever, if I can't cook, I can definitely farm. I crafted 5 solid flower pots, lined them up nice and clean right on Xuanwu's back. And then I had an absolute galaxy brain realization. Why even bother with pots when I own a literal living island turtle? Xuanwu's shell naturally absorbs soil. I slapped a heap of medium-grade dirt straight onto the shell, and it bonded instantly like it was magnetized. Pots aren't even necessary. 10 square meters of dirt slapped right onto my turtle's shell, looking like frosting on the weirdest cake in existence. I ditched all 5 flower pots in a heartbeat. Sorry little guys, we've totally been through the trenches, but I just don't need you anymore. We're scaling up to industrial agriculture now. My farming master talent suddenly kicks in, and out of nowhere I instinctively know how to farm rice. It was literally like the cheat codes got downloaded straight into my brain. Dig the hole, drop the seed, cover it with dirt. My hands were kind of clumsy, yet every single move was flawless. 10 rice stalks officially locked in the ground. Well, technically locked in the turtle. Then the massive reality check hit: water. How on earth am I supposed to hydrate 10 square meters of crops? My seawater converter barely pumps out 2 miserable liters overnight. That's like trying to fill an entire swimming pool with a teaspoon. I dumped literally everything I had. All my stored water, 2 backup bottles from my stash, and I barely managed 1 measly round of watering. And this isn't even a one-time thing. I gotta do this every single day until harvest. The legendary farming master totally getting humbled by basic irrigation. Pretty embarrassing, right? Just as I was sitting there spiraling over my life choices, the pet egg suddenly cracks open and a tiny fish pops out. Crystal clear, completely transparent, sparkling under the sun like a living, breathing diamond. It does a cute little backflip and blows a tiny bubble at me. A water crystal fish that naturally churns out 1 liter of fresh water a day. 1 whole liter? That's actually pretty sweet. I guess for any ordinary NPC, that would be a decent little perk. Too bad I am built different. I've got the overpowered beast taming system. I slapped a contract on that fish so fast. The system interface practically got whiplash. Contract bonus unlocked. Water production instantly skyrockets from 1 liter straight to 10. A literal 10x multiplier just like that. But wait, I still had energy points burning a hole in my pocket. So I leveled her up to level 1. And boom. Production jumps from 10 liters to 100 liters. 100 liters a day. Let's go. That is finally enough to water my crops. Drink until I'm bloated, and take an actual hot shower. Do you have any idea how long it's been since I've even thought about basic hygiene? Only 24 hours, but honestly, it feels like a whole lifetime. The fish only costs 10 pounds of meat a day to feed. That's an absolute steal. She's easily the most cost-effective employee I've ever hired. Shuang Wu demolishes 500 pounds, while this little angel pumps out 100 liters of water. For the price of a snack. Employee of the month, every single month, no question. Oh, and locking down her contract unlocked a brand new ability. Water shield. I can literally forge a force field out of pure water now. I poked it, bouncy yet solid. Pretty sick.
I'm collecting superpowers.
Like rare trading cards at this point. Water blades, earth control, water shield. I'm literally 1 lightning bolt away from becoming the next avatar. I dropped the crystal fish right into the seawater. Converter's tank, a cozy little setup. She looked genuinely happy, I think. Do fish even have feelings? Mine does. Now. Then I opened up the global chat, hunting for iron bars, and stumbled upon something way juicier. Some random dude named Ocean Drifter was actually selling iron bars. The entire chat was absolutely swarming his post, bidding food and water like a pack of desperate wolves. 3 cans for 1 bar, 5 bottles for another. People were going completely feral. But the real bombshell dropped in his very next message. You want to know where I got all this iron? An entire island packed with iron, or just sitting there, completely free for the taking. An island. Islands have iron. Islands have rocks. Islands have... And this is the exact moment my heart nearly blew out of my chest. Dirt. Real, actual, solid dirt. The exact thing my earth control ability needs to actually function. The missing link my farming empire needs to finally scale up. The one thing that has been entirely missing from my life. Simply because I live on the open ocean. I bolted upright and scanned the horizon. Water. More water. Even more water, just under slightly different lighting. 0 islands anywhere in sight. Cool. Back to square one. I pointed aggressively in a random direction. Shuang Wu, go that way. Honestly, I have 0 clue where we're headed, but standing completely still won't help us find an island either. Fortune favors the bold and the wildly desperate. Just then, Ocean Drifter dropped one final message. Oh yeah, by the way, the island is crawling with monsters. 2 overpowered players barely survived. Monsters guarding resources on an uncharted island? That's not a warning. That's an invitation. With those crystal fish completely solving my water crisis. It hit me. Water is officially my cheapest asset, while everyone else is literally dying for it. Economics 101. Sell whatever you've got in abundance. I hopped onto the trade channel and scored a permanent wooden bowl. Blueprint for a single bottle of water. Snagged it instantly. 1 piece of wood yields 2 bowls. so I cranked out a dozen of them. Like a medieval sweatshop. I'm gonna need storage if I'm running a legit water empire. Next, I slid into Ocean Drifter's DMs about iron bars. 500 mils of water for 1 iron bar. He replied instantly. Deal. Wait, that fast. All those clowns in public chat offering 2 or 3 bottles per bar were just bluffing. I just bought cut-rate iron for cheap. I kept stacking the trades. 1 bar, 2 bars, 5, then 10. He confirmed every single one without missing a beat. This guy is sitting on a mountain of iron like a literal dragon. Hoarding gold islands must be absolutely stacked with loot. Mental note. Find an island, get filthy rich. With 10 iron bars now in my inventory, I finally upgraded to a level 2 workbench. The thing expanded, sprouting sick metal gears on the sides. It actually looked professional. My janky wooden table evolved into a legit workshop. I scrolled through the fresh crafting menu and locked eyes with 4 magic words. Simple wooden house materials. Wood, plastic, cloth scraps. No iron bars required. No complicated nonsense. Just basic junk I had sitting in piles. I slammed that craft button so hard, I nearly fractured my finger. The workbench lit up like a rave stage. Wood planks automatically snapping together. Walls rising up, the roof sliding on, and the door clicking shut. 10 seconds flat. And a cozy little wooden cabin was standing right on Shuang Wu's back. I officially own a house on a giant turtle in the middle of the ocean. I shoved the door open, about 4 or 5 square meters inside. Just enough space for a bed and some storage. I dragged my bed inside, built a table and cabinet, and arranged everything nice and cozy. Then I stepped outside and surveyed my brand new kingdom. A cozy wooden cabin right dead center. A workbench and water converter chilling on the left. Storage chests stacked up on the right and front. A solid 10 square meters of prime rice paddy, featuring tiny green shoots, already breaking right through the soil. There I am, standing right in my doorway. Hands locked on my hips, admiring my own personal farm. Strapped to the back of my swimming fortress. Turtle Day 2. I went from a drowning orphan clutching sticks to an absolute ocean homestead lord with a full farm and cottage. Who else is pulling this off? Nobody. That's who. I spent the morning grinding the usual routine, scooping up floating trash, and mercilessly stabbing sea beasts on sight. Daytime spawns were honestly pretty weak, so I was saving my actual bloodlust for tonight. Kuminun. My stomach aggressively reminded me I've been eating like a caveman. Dry-ass bread and canned mystery meat for literally every meal. My taste buds were staging a full-scale riot. Then it hit me. I've got a literal barbecue blueprint. I got iron bars now, baby. Traded for some solid stone blocks straight from the market. Crafting time, and a sleek grill materializes right on Shuang Wu's shell. A heavy-duty iron rack with a firewood slot locked underneath. Plenty of elbow room for 3 juicy slabs of meat at once. I snagged some premium sea beast meat. Slapped it on, sparked the flame, and locked in. 15 minutes later, the first masterpiece came off the rack. Golden brown crust, dripping with fat. Thick smoke billowing everywhere. That savory aroma drifting across the open ocean. Acting like a Michelin star commercial for starving survivors. I took one bite and my eyes deadass rolled back into my skull. After 24 straight hours of crusty dry bread. This genuinely tasted like 5-star luxury dining. Crispy on the outside. Unbelievably juicy on the inside. Who even needs fancy seasonings when you've been literally starving? The system prompt pops up saying it restores stamina. And permanently buffs your core body stats. I checked my status panel and absolutely nothing budged. 'Cause my stats are already comfortably over 10. F-rank meat is basically baby formula for someone of my caliber. But for regular players out here, this stuff is absolute gold. People in global chat are literally passing out from hunger. Running on fumes. Getting chased down by sea monsters with 0 stamina left. While a single piece of grilled meat completely fixes your life. Recharges your energy and gives permanent stat boosts. I started grilling like a man possessed. 3 pieces every 15 minutes. 12 per hour assembly line barbecue. Flip sear. Remove reload. I was the Gordon Ramsay of the apocalypse. Ocean listed everything on the trade board. 1 grilled meat for 1 crystal. 1 bowl of water for 1 crystal. Then I dropped 1 message in chat. Grilled meat and water available. Crystals only limited stock. And walked away. I didn't even see the explosion. But apparently the chat went absolutely berserk. Grilled meat. I just ate one and my stats went up 0.1 permanently. This is real. Shut up and take my crystals. Leave some for me. Lin B. I is a legend. Every piece of meat sold out in seconds. Crystals poured in like a river. People who'd been hoarding crystals, because they might be useful someday, were now throwing them at me for a piece of barbecue. I accidentally became the first restaurant owner of the apocalypse. And just like that, everyone in our starter village of 100,000 people knew my name not as the guy who upgrades fast, or the guy who kills sea beasts first, but as the guy who feeds people. Turns out, in a survival world, the person with the grill is king. My barbecue business was too successful. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. While floating on a turtle. Every piece of meat sold the second I listed it. The chat was full of people, camping my trade page like it was a sneaker drop. Lin Bei, please restock. I've been refreshing for 30 minutes. Take my crystals. Sorry folks. One grill 12 pieces per hour. I'm a one-man restaurant with no employees. And my kitchen is a reptile. Then someone named Seabreeze slid into my DMS with an offer. An excellent quality barbecue grill.
Blueprint permanent.
Way better than my basic one price. 30 sizzling plates of grilled meat. I did what any self-respecting hustler would do. I negotiated that down to 20. I spent the next chunk of time grilling, like my absolute life depended on it. Handed over 20 strips and grabbed the blueprint. Then I checked out the materials list. 10 iron bars, 5 copper bars, 30 stone blocks. Copper? I haven't even seen copper in this entire world. It's like the system literally conjured a fictional metal just to ruin my afternoon. Sea Breeze basically sold me a recipe I can't even use. I got scammed by a guy named after a gentle breeze. You can't preview the full ingredient list before trading. Only after. Lesson learned. Always read the fine print. Except there literally is no fine print. This system is rigged for pure daylight robbery. Still, I tucked the blueprint away. Somewhere out there, copper actually exists, and I'm gonna hunt it down. Right on cue, Xian Wu let out an excited, low rumble. Through our psychic bond, I felt it instantly. Earth energy pulsing somewhere ahead. My level 2 earth sensing was picking up solid ground. In an endless ocean of nothingness. And there's only one thing that radiates earth energy out here. An island. Full speed ahead. Xian Wu kicked it into high gear. Wind slamming my face, salt spray flying everywhere. Until a tiny black dot on the horizon started expanding. Turning green. An actual island. Trees. Jagged rocks. A sandy beach. Real dirt. A few hundred square meters of unadulterated land. Surrounded by endless ocean like a jade jewel on blue velvet. I leaped off Xian Wu's shell straight onto the sand. And almost wept. Land. Actual solid ground under my boots. After 2 solid days riding a giant turtle shell, touching real earth felt like returning home from the front lines. My emotional breakthrough lasted all of 3 seconds. Before 3 scaly shadow beasts exploded out of the brush. Rock wolves. Frank. Fast. Vicious-looking. Armored in jagged scales with jaws dripping fangs. All 3 fanned out to encircle me. Like they rehearsed this exact sequence. Super dramatic, totally coordinated, and entirely dead. I drove my spear straight through the lead one's throat. Before that beast even finished growling, the other 2 pounced. I threw up a water shield, and they bounced right off like tennis balls, leaving me to finish them with 2 quick stabs. Frank, please.
I eat a Frank mops for breakfast. Literally.
That's what the barbecue's for. 3 crystals, 60 pounds of prime meat, and 6 pelts. Not a bad haul for 10 seconds of work. Now for the real treasure. I dropped to my knees and slammed both palms flat against the dirt. Earth sense activate. It was like live sonar. My brain instantly lit up with an underground radar map. Gray dots for standard stone, black dots for iron, and jackpot yellow dots. I scrambled straight to the nearest yellow glow and started digging with my bare hands, like a hyped-up golden retriever smelling a bone. Actual copperore. Look at that gorgeous green tinge. I might have shrieked a little bit, not gonna lie. I went straight into feral mode, digging like a madman. Iron here, copper there. Rocks flying everywhere. I was sprinting back and forth between the vein sites, and Xuanwu's back, hauling armfuls of heavy stone, and getting absolutely filthy. Then, after watching me struggle and sweat for 5 whole minutes, Xuanwu apparently decided he'd seen enough stupidity. His shell flashed a deep yellow-brown, and suddenly every single rock and or deposit in range ripped itself right out of the ground, floating through the air to stack neatly on his shell. I stood there completely caked in dirt, clutching two dorky rocks like an absolute clown, watching my turtle use high-tier telekinesis to finish in 5 seconds what took me 20 minutes. Xuanwu, you could do this. The entire damn time. He just slow blinked at me. The universal turtle translation for you never asked. I wanted to flip out. But honestly, fair point, buddy. From then on, I just played foreman, pointing out the iron and yelling, grab that one, hit that stone pile, yep. I even asked if he could haul whole trees. He tried, gave a firm head shake. Rocks and minerals only. No wood, but hey, I'm definitely not complaining. We wiped that island clean like an absolute vacuum. Over 100 blocks of iron or a dozen copper and more stone than I could possibly count. Sean Wu's back looked like a quarry detonated on it, though he shrugged it off like it was nothing. Total show-off. Then I struck actual gold. Pitch black. Nutrient-rich soil. The heart of the island had a massive clearing covered in it. No magical buffs, just pure, honest dirt. But for a guy like me, dirt is the ultimate cheat code. Sean Wu's earth magic. Ripped the topsoil straight off the bedrock and stacked it high on his colossal shell. My farming space skyrocketed from 10 square meters to 40. I am officially running a legit agricultural empire on the back of a swimming colossal turtle. Old MacDonald could never. I was about to call it a day when something caught my eye glowing deep in the timber. A bizarre tree wrapped in luminescent, pulsing bark, with vibrant red fruit dangling from every branch. Resting right beneath it was a gleaming bronze chest. And standing dead in my path, guarding the loot, was the absolute unit of a wolf, easily dwarfing all the others. Shimmering silver-gray fur, piercing golden eyes radiating.
Pure, unadulterated menace.
The system immediately flagged it as E-rank. Beast Rock Wolf King. Not F-rank, a whole tier higher E-rank status. I gripped my makeshift spear tighter and grinned. Boss fight unlocked, an E-rank. Wolf King standing 2 meters tall at the shoulder. Silver pelt flashing like polished chainmail. Those golden eyes screaming, I am going to murder you. And there I am holding a wooden stick, thinking, I literally have zero clue if I survive this. I opened up with a razor-sharp water blade. The beast casually sidestepped it without breaking a sweat, dodging a high-velocity projectile like a slow-pitch softball. The slash completely cleaving a tree in half behind it. Okay, so speed is definitely its thing. I hurled a heavy chunk of earth at it from the flank. The wolf didn't even bother to dodge, just swatted it out of midair with one effortless paw. So it hits like a freight train too. Awesome, just awesome. Everything is completely fine. I charged in with my spear, aiming straight for the jugular, classic anime style. Super heroic, except the wolf caught my spearhead, dead in its jaws, and snapped it clean in half. There goes my only weapon. Just fantastic, absolutely stellar. 5 stars. But here's the kicker when you're backed into a corner. Desperation makes you insanely brave. Instead of running, I socked it right in the nose. Full force straight to the snout. The Wolf King reeled backward. It looked genuinely offended, like it couldn't fathom anyone having the nerve. From there, it escalated into a real brawl. Water shield locked in the left hand. Water blade primed in the right as the beast kept lunging, slamming relentlessly into my defense. The barrier bent and rattled, but it held strong. Every single time it bounced off, I punished it with a brutal counter slash. We traded blows across that clearing. And slowly, a gorgeous realization washed over me. I'm actually stronger than this thing. With all 3 of my core stats past the 10 mark. I've soared right past standard E-rank limits. This oversized mutt just hasn't figured it out yet. It lunged, missed wide open, and I carved a massive half-meter gash across its back. Blood sprayed everywhere, dyeing its silver fur crimson. The Wolf King yelped and tried to make a break for it. Yeah, not happening today. You started this boss fight, pal, and we're seeing it through. 3 swift water blade slashes straight to the spine. Crash down, lights out. Netting 1 E-rank crystal and 50 pounds of premium meat. Plus an intact E-rank pelt for crafting custom armor. Absolute top-tier loot drop right there. System broadcast echoing across District 400. Lin Bei becomes the first to slay an E-rank beast. Reward unlocked. 1 silver treasure chest. The live chat instantly morphed into a full-blown fan club. Completely tangled with wild conspiracy theories. He's hacking, he totally broke the system. No way that guy's human. Flattering, honestly. But I wasn't wasting time reading chat. My eyes were locked on that tree. Glowing white bark paired with emerald leaves. Brilliant crimson fruits dangling from the canopy. Looking like festive ornaments crafted by nature. A legendary light-wing tree yielding fruits that cure injuries. And permanently amplify your strength stats. And unlike literally every other tree in existence, this absolute unit can be replanted. I'm a certified farming god and trees are just plants. Plants are my absolute specialty, Shan Wu. Dig this massive thing up right now. Roots and all. Shan Wu's earth control. Ripped the entire tree straight out of the dirt. Roots, soil, ball, everything, and floated it gently onto his back. I planted it right next to my cabin. I've officially got a magical healing fruit tree. Growing next to my house on the back of my giant turtle. Dead in the middle of the ocean. My real estate listing would be completely insane. 50 SQM prime oceanfront property. Open floor plan, personal rice paddy. Fruit orchard, and a mobile pet fish included. Shan Wu and I split up to literally strip mine the rest of the island. He vacuumed up every single ore and stone with telekinesis, while I cleaned out the wood and plants. We were moving like a two-man demolition squad. By the time we finally finished, the island looked like it got robbed. At gunpoint, and then someone actually tried to rob me. Some dude suddenly stepped out from the trees. Mid-20s, holding a bow with a full quiver on his hip. We just stared at each other for 2 solid seconds. And he shot at me with zero warning. No hey. Let's be besties. Just straight up tried to murder me for my loot. The arrow curved mid-air using some kind of homing skill. The projectile literally tracked around corners. But my water shield caught it dead in its tracks. Stuck halfway through, but it couldn't break the defense. I instantly water-bladed him right in the shoulder. He shrieked in pain and tried to sprint away. My second blade caught him square in the back. And down he went, my very first PvP kill. I'm not gonna pretend it felt amazing. That shit hits heavy even though he fired first. Even though it was total self-defense. Taking a human life carries a completely different weight than just dropping a monster. I took a deep breath and grabbed his backpack. Inside were a few rare crystals. Some random junk. And a permanent excellent grade furnace blueprint. I instantly took back every single mean thing I thought. My guy, you weren't just a robber. Shout out to your delivery service, bro. Rest in peace, you absolute legend of a loot piñata. Snagging this furnace means I can finally smelt raw iron into solid bars. And transform copper or into high-grade copper. All that brutal grinding in the mines? Totally worth it now that my gear is actually craftable. Even that scammy fancy barbecue blueprint is finally within reach. I loaded everything up onto Shen Wu, and threw one last dramatic glance back at the island. We stripped the soil, the ore, the stone, the timber, and even snatched the boss monster's lunch money. Honestly, the whole place looked like it survived a Category 5 disaster. Classic Lin Bei fashion. Let's head home. Shen Wu. Home being, of course, the giant immortal turtle. I'm literally standing on. Now, time to unbox these sweet rewards. I cracked open the bronze chest first. Tomato seeds, potato seeds, some juicy watermelon seeds, 10 earring crystals, and a stack of fireproof bricks. Solid stuff, though not exactly mind-blowing. Kind of like getting practical socks for Christmas. You're definitely gonna use them, but you aren't exactly throwing a party. Then came the silver chest, the heavy hitter. 20 copper bars, 20 elite iron bars, 5 pristine downed crystals, and something called an automatic collector. I read the tooltip 3 separate times, just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. It literally scoops up floating loot automatically, within a 3-meter radius. No more backbreaking labor, no more fishing random garbage out of the briny deep. With my bare hands, I just slap this bad boy on the edge of Shen Wu's shell, wire it up to a storage chest, and watch it vacuum everything in sight. It's literally a Roomba for ocean trash. Right on cue, a random chunk of driftwood floats past, and gets sucked straight into the void. Boom! Didn't even lift a finger. I have genuinely never felt this free. My posture is fixed, my lower back is throwing a celebration. And those donned crystals? Absolutely stunning. Deep, glowing purple vibrating with raw energy, each one packing a cool 20 energy points. All 5 together netted me a massive 100 points, sending my grand total soaring to 470, just 30 short of Shan Wu's level 3 upgrade at 500. Almost there now for the building spree of the century. Step 1 Furnace. I had the blueprint from my dearly departed attacker. Friend 50 stone blocks, 20 iron bars, 10 fireproof bricks. All from today's haul. I built it behind my cabin. Half my height. Iron shell brick-lined interior chimney on top. 5 smelting slots running at once. I loaded iron ore in all 5 and hit start. Flames roared up, heat blasted my face. Iron ore going in, iron bars coming out. Then I loaded copper ore, same thing. Copper bars flowing like a golden river. The chat had just been crying about how regular furnaces can't smelt copper. You need a higher grade one. Guess who has an excellent grade furnace? This guy, while everyone else is stuck. I'm running a full metallurgy operation. On the back of a turtle step 2. Fancy barbecue that Blueprint Sea Breeze sold me. 10 iron bars, 5 copper bars. 30 stone, everything accounted for craft. The new grill appeared next to my old one, bigger. Better, with an auto-feed mechanism for the firewood. 10 pieces of meat at once. 15 minutes per batch, fully automatic. I don't even have to flip them. 2 grills running simultaneously. The old one doing 3 at a time. The new one doing 10. My meat production went from neighborhood lemonade stand to fast food franchise. I stood back, hands on hips, and just admired my empire furnace smelting.
2 grills cooking, auto collector harvesting.
All running by themselves. I've built a factory on a turtle. I'm the Henry Ford of the apocalypse ocean. I have an assembly line. And my factory floor is a living animal. Someone in chat posted that they'd finally reached level 2. Good for them. Then they shared the level 3 upgrade requirements. 300 wood, 250 plastic, 200 cloth, 80 iron nails, 40 iron bars, 15 copper bars, 5 glass. Viewers were having absolute existential meltdowns in the comments. I'll never catch up. Copper bars are totally impossible. Standard furnaces can't even process copper. Meanwhile, I'm sitting pretty with literal mountains of copper, an elite tier furnace, and a smug grin visible from outer space. But I couldn't get cocky. These players are leveling up fast. This massive lead isn't going to last forever. Time to grind harder. I planted every single seed. Tomatoes, potatoes, watermelons. Every square meter of my 40 square meter farm was packed to the brim. The farming master talent took over my hands on absolute autopilot, delivering flawless spacing and depth every single time. Then the water crisis hit us all over again. 40 square meters of crops. We're drinking like a wild college fraternity. Even my crystal fish's 100 liters a day was getting stretched dangerously thin, especially with the healing tree guzzling water too. The solution: level up the fish. 50 energy points for a level 2 crystal fish. She shot up from 2 palm sizes to nearly a meter long, and her daily output skyrocketed to a staggering 1,000 liters. 1,000 liters. A literal ton of fresh water every single day. I could irrigate a small farm, fill an entire swimming pool, and take a luxury long shower all at the same time. Water scarcity in my life? Officially cancelled. The stat feedback bumped every attribute past the 11-point threshold, and my water shield got ridiculously thick, twice as dense with a gorgeous, high-defense blue shimmer. The only catch: my meter-long fish no longer fit inside her little conversion tank. She was thrashing around in there like a poor goldfish. Somebody tried stuffing into a coffee mug. The plastic walls were taking a beating, and she was majorly ticked off. So I built her a custom pool. I used earth control to mold stone and soil into a solid 4 square meter pond, half a meter deep, and filled it to the brim with fresh water. She dove right in and started doing victory laps. I could literally feel her joy echoing through our bond.
Pure, bubbly, aquatic bliss.
She went from living in a glorified Tupperware container to owning a luxury backyard resort. The employee benefits at Lin Bay are unmatched. Incorporated are outstanding. Then I stepped back and took it all in. A cozy wooden cabin, a trusty workbench, a top-tier furnace, and 2 heavy-duty grills. 3 storage chests, an auto-collector doing work, and 40 square meters of prime farmland, with rice stalks practically begging to be harvested, plus fresh tomatoes, potatoes, and juicy watermelons, a magical healing fruit tree thriving in the back, and a pristine pond housing a meter-long crystal fish, all packed onto a meager 50 square meters of turtle shell. To say it's cramped is a massive understatement. My poor giant turtle has less personal space than a Tokyo studio apartment. Yet Sean Wu is out here, carrying an entire microsociety on his back. Without dropping a single complaint, I gently patted his scaly shell, whispering, "Hang in there, buddy. Just one more upgrade and you'll finally have some breathing room." With only 1 day of newbie protection left on the clock, the ravenous monsters are coming for everyone. But honestly, let them pull up. My factory's humming, my farm's booming, my grills are blazing, and my fish is swimming. I'm locked and loaded. First things first. After admiring my absolute masterpiece of a turtle empire, I looked right at the edge and realized, this setup desperately needs walls. Salty sea spray kept aggressively slapping me in the face, with wild waves crashing over the rim like uninvited party crashers. So I channeled my earth control to stack stone blocks into a solid half-meter barricade all the way around the perimeter. Boom! Instant high-security fortress. My beast just leveled up from a floating raft to a heavily fortified battle station. The ultimate goal? Full medieval castle walls. Mark my words, I'm building a whole metropolis on this shell. Though yeah, that drained most of my stone reserves, instantly adding a massive pile of boulders to my never-ending shopping list. Then it was straight back to the grind. And by grind, I mean my ultra-profitable empire. Grills sizzling, furnace smelting at max capacity, and the auto-collector printing items. I dropped my fresh batch of savory grilled meat straight onto the trade board, and watched the rare crystals flood in, like a jackpot on a rigged slot machine. My market reputation is untouchable right now. People are literally camping out on my trade page, just to snipe the latest drops. Lin Bay's Ocean Barbecue is officially open for business and raking in crystals. No reservations needed. First come, first served. Meanwhile, the top dogs in chat were absolute lunatics, desperately trying to buy copper bars. Prices were skyrocketing from 10 water bottles a bar straight to 20. I was sitting pretty on a literal mountain of copper and iron, my furnace cranking out bars nonstop, and I had to physically restrain myself from cashing out. Not yet, not until I hit level 3. If I dump my copper now, and some sweat gets their upgrade before me, I'll literally cry an entire ocean. Strategic patience, baby. Harvard Business School would be proud. By evening, I treated myself to something seriously elite. Earrank Wolf King meat grilled to absolute perfection. 15 minutes later, oh my god. Juicy, tender, bursting with insane flavor. After 2 solid days of dry-ass bread and F-rank mystery fish, this tasted like a Michelin star feast. Still didn't buff my stats, because apparently I'm way too overpowered for food buffs now. But who cares? This is peak quality of life. Then I got a devilishly wonderful idea. I listed half a piece of Earrank grilled meat on the trade board for 10 crystals. Not because I actually wanted to sell it. Just pure, unadulterated psychological warfare. Maximum trolling. And it sold in under 60 seconds. Someone actually coughed up. 10 crystals for half a snack. The buyer's profile? Little orange icon of a cute anime girl with pigtails. No clue who she is, but anyone dropping 10 crystals on random street food is either a hidden whale or clinically insane. Honestly, respect. Either way, out there in this wasteland, some pigtail girl was totally devouring my barbecue. Cheeks puffed out like an absolute hamster. Eyes sparkling, living her absolute best life. She even followed my profile. I literally just gained a stand through cooking. My survival career path has taken some wild turns. After dinner, 3 full pieces of Earrank meat, because my appetite scales with my stats now. Just like everything else in this circus of a life, I tossed a couple chunks to Xuanwu. And the crystal fish, they went feral for it. Earrank meat is so absurdly energy dense that 20 or 30 pounds fills their bottomless stomachs right up. Way more efficient than 500 pounds of regular fish. Premium fuel for premium pets. Then night fell and the glowing eyes returned. Round 2. Except this time I was twice as strong as yesterday. My water blades didn't just injure F-rank beasts anymore, they split them in half. 1/2 pieces next target. I didn't even need my spear. The spear felt like overkill. Like bringing a cannon to a pillow fight. Shan Wu was a wrecking ball underwater. Ramming through sea beasts like a bowling ball. Through Pin's shell. Bash here, bite there. Entire groups wiped out in seconds. We cleared the area twice as fast as last night. Treasure chests popping up everywhere. Wooden and black iron mostly. Nothing fancy, but the basic resources added up: bread, canned food materials, crystals. My storage chests were overflowing. I noticed something interesting though. More chests than yesterday, which means resources are becoming more common. For everyone, basic food and water will get cheaper soon. Bad for selling bread and water, but good for selling things nobody else can make. Grilled meat that boosts stats. Crystal clear fresh water on demand. Copper bars from my exclusive furnace. Those prices will only go up as people get richer and want better stuff. Economics is alive and well in the apocalypse. The chat was arguing about me again. Some people defending me, some people calling me lucky. Some insisting I'm a bug in the system. One guy said he's just lucky. How much stronger can he really be, brother? I'm splitting sea monsters in half with my mind. While you're arguing on fish Twitter. We are not the same. I didn't respond. Just smiled. Midnight rolled around. I counted everything up, dozens of sea beasts killed. Tons of crystals from combat and trades combined. My energy counter ticked past the magic number. Like an odometer rolling over 612 energy points. Sean Wu needs 500 to hit level 3. Over 100 points to spare. I walked to the center of the shell. Standing tall beneath the starlight. I gave my turtle's shell one final, hyped-up pat. Xian Wu. Time to level up. Third time's the absolute charm. Let's see just how massive this absolute unit gets. Xian Wu didn't just grow this time. He practically detonated. His shell started trembling like an earthquake on water. And forget that gentle expansion I was used to. This was violent, the turtle equivalent of the Hulk. Ripping straight out of his shirt. 50 square meters, 80, 120, 160, 200, 200 square meters. That is literally bigger than a basketball court. My pet turtle is officially classified as a small island now. If I plant a flag on this thing, I could probably apply for statehood. The shell shifted into a deep, regal black gold, thick as solid bedrock with walls automatically shooting up. Around the edges, literal built-in fortifications. My turtle comes equipped with ramparts now. Medieval castle designers are rolling in their graves right now. Out of pure jealousy, new title unlocked. Giant Spirit Mystic Turtle, level 3. Sounds like an absolute final boss in an RPG. And guess what? He's my ride. Then the power feedback hit me, and I almost blacked out from how insanely good it felt. My stats fucking tripled. Constitution hit 32. Speed 31. Strength 32. I hopped and launched myself 6 meters straight into the air. And when I landed, the ground shook. I'm not even a regular person anymore. I'm a walking human missile with feelings. Classification. Transcendent mid-rank. I don't fully know what that means yet, but it sounds like I could punch right through a wall. And politely apologize to the guy on the other side. Server announcement, right on schedule. Lin Bei is the first to reach level 3. The global chat had a full-blown existential crisis. It's only been 3 days. He upgraded at midnight. Does this man even sleep? I haven't even finished level 1. I'm numb. I feel nothing anymore. Lin Bei, are you even human? Somewhere out there, the other top-tier players were grinding their teeth down into dust. Apparently, several of them were so damn close to level 3. Literally just missing copper bars. The exact copper bars I'm sitting on like a greedy dragon. The copper bars I refuse to sell to anyone. Sorry, not sorry. Business is war. Silver chest acquired. 20 E-rank crystals and 30 copper bars. 30 iron bars, plus 20 blocks of medium soil. A standard care package. Time to absorb those crystals. That pushes me to 312 energy points. Level 3 workbench. Unlocked. Oh, this thing makes the good stuff. High-end furniture and solid stone buildings. And actual wearable clothes. I looked down at myself and almost threw up. 3 days without a shower. 0 wardrobe changes. Soaking wet from seawater. Caked in sea beast blood and sweat. Fish guts and the undeniable stench of a guy living on a giant turtle, fighting for his life. I smelled like an active crime scene at a seafood market. Priority 1, a bathroom. I went straight into full architect mode. Earth control activated. Massive stones flying out of storage, stacking themselves with absolute precision. Right next to the old wooden cabin. I built a legit stone house with 4 proper rooms. A bedroom featuring a massive stone bed. A bathroom with a drainage channel leading straight outside. A toilet that's simple yet completely functional. Because trust me, you don't appreciate plumbing until you've been peeing off the edge of a moving turtle. For 3 straight days. And a kitchen equipped with a real stove and chimney. Then, and I am genuinely proud of this engineering feat. I built a shower. I stacked stones above the bathroom. To make a water tank, carved a hole right through the bottom. Stuck a hollow piece of wood in it for a pipe. And boom, instant running water and a makeshift shower head. I even added a plug, so it doesn't leak everywhere when I'm not using it. Is it janky? Absolutely. Would a licensed plumber cry? 100%. Does it work like an absolute dream? Who else in this entire survival wasteland has a functioning shower? Nobody. There are 100,000 people trapped in this village. And I'm the only guy here who doesn't smell like the bottom of the ocean. That's not just surviving. That is absolute civilization. Time for clothes. Using some cloth scraps and ear-rank wolf fur, I whipped up a gray shirt and pants. Rough texture, but super sturdy. Is it a bit wasteful to use ear-rank materials for basic clothes? Do I look like I care?
Nah, I'm loaded.
If I'm not going to wear Wolf King leather, what am I supposed to do? Just save it until it rots. I stepped straight into my bathroom, pulled the plug, and warm water came crashing down over my head. 3 solid days of grime, blood, salt, and pure suffering washed right off my skin. And straight down the drain. I just stood there for a minute, soaking it all in and breathing. This has got to be the greatest shower in human history. People out there pay thousands for luxury spas. Way worse than this. The dirty runoff drained safely outside. And because I'm an absolute genius, I built a stone catch basin right at the outlet. Recycled bath water goes straight to nourish the crops. Talk about ultimate sustainability. Even in the apocalypse, I'm going green. Clean body, fresh clothes, completely renewed. I walked into my kitchen. My very own kitchen on a giant floating turtle, grabbed some ear-rank wolf meat, sliced it thin, and tossed it into a pot with fresh water and wild onions. I scavenged from the island. A rich, bubbling pot of meat soup, steaming and filling my entire stone hideout, with the most mouth-watering aroma. I ladled up a bowl, walked to the edge of the shell and looked out. Sat down with my legs dangling over the edge, and sipped my soup, watching the moonlight dance across the endless ocean waves. Just 3 days ago I was a broke college kid, who literally couldn't even run half a mile. Now I'm a transcendent ranked powerhouse, flexing a massive 200-square-meter turtle fortress, a custom stone home with indoor plumbing, a kitchen, a thriving farm, a blazing furnace, and an automated resource collection setup. Dual barbecue grills, a mythical fruit tree, rare crystal fish, and my very own private pool. Plus, I just scored an epic hot shower, and I'm chilling with homemade soup under the stars. After washing my bowl, tidying up the kitchen, I stepped right into my brand new bedroom. A heavy stone bed layered in soft cloth and thick fur. Surprisingly ultra comfortable. Easily holding the title of the finest bed in the entire ocean server. Tomorrow, though, the newbie protection officially drops. Ferocious sea beasts are going to strike relentlessly, meaning every single player in this death game is about to face real terror. For the very first time starting tomorrow, my rice is finally ready to harvest. I flashed a grin and shut my eyes. Bring it on, morning of day 3. I popped out of bed like fresh toast from a toaster. First order of business? More farming. Sean Wu's back is a solid 200 square meters now, and my crops were only using 40 of it. That is like owning a mansion and living in the broom closet. Unacceptable. I spread every ounce of medium-grade soil I had across the shell, taking those 40 square meters straight to 80. My turtle now has more farmland than some actual farms. Back home, an agricultural revolution is going down, and it is happening on a giant reptile. Watering time used to be my absolute nightmare, but not anymore. I raised my hand like an actual wizard, activated water control, and yanked a massive sphere of water straight out of the fish pond. Bigger than my head, crystal clear, absolutely stunning. Then I flicked my wrist, and it burst into a flawless mist that rained down evenly over every single plant. Not a single drop wasted. Precision irrigation at its finest. I am basically a walking sprinkler system with six-pack abs. The tomatoes, potatoes, and watermelons were all sprouting like absolute champions. Just little green babies reaching up for the sun. Adorable. But the rice? Oh, the rice was locked and loaded. Golden stalks were bowing down under the heavy weight of fat grain clusters. It is practically poetry. I almost shed a tear. 3 days ago, I was chewing on dry crackers and having an existential crisis. Now I am harvesting my own homegrown rice, on the back of a beast. Then something caught my eye. 4 out of my 10 rice plots looked completely different. Brighter gold, way bigger grains, and wrapped in a faint glow. My farming master talent must have triggered a mutation. 4 plots of rice mutated straight into E rank. Quality, packed with special properties. A 30% chance, and I hit it on 4 out of 10? The gotcha gods are finally smiling down on me. I strolled over to the lightwing tree next, just to admire my handiwork. It is standing 2 meters tall now, its white bark glowing with a soft luminescence, its leaves thick and lush. I reached out and ran my hand across the trunk, and right on cue the beast taming system flashed. Contractable plant detected. Lightwing tree contract? I blink 3 times. Plants count as beasts? The beast, in beast taming, is apparently more of a suggestion than a rule. At this point, I could probably contract a rock, and the system would be like, sure, why not? I hit yes before the universe changed its mind. Golden light wrapped around the tree. Branches trembled. Leaves rustled. Then the system delivered. The most beautiful words I've ever read. Growth domain. All crops within a 10-meter radius grow 50% faster. 50% in a 10-meter circle. Stack that with my farming master's 100% boost, and the medium soil's 20% boost, and my crops grow at a 170% bonus speed. What takes normal people 5 days takes me less than 2. I'm not farming anymore. I'm speedrunning agriculture. Oh, and the tree immediately produced a batch of 10 light fruits, upgraded versions of the healing fruits. Plus, it'll keep producing every 3 days. I literally have a fruit factory growing on my turtle. I bit into one crispy, sweet, juicy, delicious. 0 stat effect on me, because my attributes are over 30. An E-rank fruit is like giving a vitamin to Superman. Absolutely pointless for me. But for other people. Nuclear. I listed 5 on the trade board. 10 F-rank crystals each. Then I dropped 1 casual message in chat. New product, limited stock. First come, first serve. Guess who bought the first one? Little Orange, my number 1 customer. My most loyal fan. This girl has a radar for my listings. She probably has notifications turned on. And a finger hovering over the buy button at all times. And then she did something incredible. She posted in chat. I ate one and my constitution went up 0.5. From 3.1 to 3.6. Lin Bei's stuff is insane. She just became my unpaid marketing department. The chat detonated. 0.5. I spent 2 days killing monsters and only gained 0.3. Where do I buy? They're gone already? I just saw the post. All 5 fruits sold out in about 15 seconds. People were begging for more. Offering double price, even triple. Flooding my DMs with sheer desperation. I dropped 1 final tease. More products coming soon. Hit follow to stay locked in. My follower count skyrocketed instantly. I'm not just a random farmer or barbecue chef anymore. I'm a whole brand. Lin Bei's Organic Ocean Produce. Farm to turtle freshness, except no cheap knockoffs. Then I completely overhauled my entire farm layout. Light wing tree planted right in the center. All crop plots arranged in a neat circle around it. So every single plant sits inside the 10-meter growth domain. Absolute peak efficiency, agricultural feng shui. I watched my rice with the new growth domain buff. Stacking right on top of everything else. The countdown timer until harvest. Just got slammed down even lower about an hour to go. Wait a minute. Harvest with what? I've been so busy playing 200 IQ Genius Farmer that I completely forgot to buy actual tools. No sickle, no storage bucket, absolutely nothing. What kind of elite farmer doesn't own a sickle? I panic-searched the trade board immediately. Oh, a sickle. A large wooden barrel, all available and dirt cheap. Because literally nobody else in this entire world is farming. I'm literally the only customer in the agriculture section. It's like walking into a clearance store, where everything is being practically given away. Because the whole market has just one single buyer. Me. A few bottles of water later. I secured a full starter kit. Sickle for cutting. Large barrel for storage, costing just 5 wood to make. Holds a full cubic meter of loot, super practical. And the absolute crown jewel of the haul. A stone mill. Some lucky player actually found a stone mill blueprint. And was selling it for a measly 5 bottles of water. 5. They probably thought it was total garbage. Because who the hell is processing grain? Right in the middle of the open ocean. Me. I'm out here processing grain in the middle of the ocean. Riding a massive turtle. I bought it instantly. That seller has absolutely no clue. They just handed over the blueprint for my entire rice empire. For the exact price of a fancy iced coffee. Rice fields are almost ready, sickle is sharpened, barrel is waiting. That stone mill's firing up in about an hour. Chat. Time to harvest fresh grain. And cook up my very first bowl of authentic rice. 3 days in, will I actually survive today? Should I go fried rice or classic kanji? Character development is real, people. Then the water market totally crashed. And yeah, that was on me. 3 gorgeous days into the game. And folks weren't desperate anymore. They had food, they had actual water. And nobody was panic buying my standard deal. My 500 milliliters for 1 crystal rate was just sitting on the trade board, like a totally forgotten sandwich, with 0 buyers. So I did what any respectable monopolist would do. I slashed prices. 1 full liter for a single crystal. Double the water for the exact same price. Basically a massive clearance sale at Lin Bei's Ocean Walmart. The regular players went wild for it. Lin Bei is an absolute saint. Finally, someone who isn't trying to rob us blind. But the water scalpers? The greedy clowns buying low and selling high? I just drove an 18-wheeler straight through their entire business model. Their profit margins didn't just shrink. They evaporated into thin air. Ironically, my inbox filled up with furious hate mail. Faster than my furnace choking on smoke. Change the price back, we've got numbers. Don't make us come find you. I read every single one of those threatening messages, leaned back in my chair, and typed one word. Come. 3 seconds of dead silence. And then I added, please, I'm literally begging you to try something. I need the entertainment. My inbox went totally silent. Funny how that always works, everyone's a tough guy. Until they remember the other person has maxed out stats. And a battle turtle the size of a whole football field. But these clowns still weren't done. They couldn't touch me in a fight, so they resorted to something even more pathetic. They started blasting propaganda all over the global chat, claiming I'm just faking generosity, while secretly monopolizing the market. Classic move when you can't beat em. Slendering. Some gullible folks bought it, though most saw right through it. Honestly, I didn't care either way because my rice was finally ready. I squatted right at the edge of my field and gripped a thick stalk, heavy and golden. I pulled out my sickle and sliced it down in one clean swing. The very first harvest of the apocalypse. 6 normal plots gave me standard white rice. Totally fine for eating, nothing crazy. But those 4 mutated plots? The grains turned out a deep, dark red. Almost glowing like each one had its own tiny, beating heart. F-rank blood rice, massive boost. To constitution and raw strength. I dumped the harvest straight into my stone mill. And went to work grinding that crispy crunch of husks. Splitting wide open. With pristine white rice laced in blood-red veins tumbling out. NGL, it was crazy satisfying. Farming is seriously addictive. Who knew? I went from the guy who accidentally murdered his only houseplant, to a guy genuinely getting emotional over grain quality. In just 3 days, lunchtime hit, and I scored a cooking pot for 3 bottles of water. Easily the steal of my entire career. Then I went hunting for some seasonings. Found this one seller flexing a full spice collection. Salt, chili pepper, garlic, the whole 9 yards. I slid into his DMs and his reply? Oh, Lin Bei. That'll be 50 crystals for the set. 50. Dude literally saw my name and tried to pull a fast one on me. Bro, I am literally the biggest trader in this whole village. You really think I don't know market value? I slammed the chat shut, tracked down 3 other honest sellers, and copped salt for 1 water, chili for 2 waters, and got free garlic thrown in as a bonus. Fair prices secured. Done deal. Then I slapped a hard block on Mr. 50 Crystals. He apparently tried to hit me up again later, and slammed right into a brick wall. Hope that realization stung. Imagine trying to run a scam on the wrong farmer. Back in my actual kitchen. Yes, my kitchen with my own stove inside my actual stone house. I got the fire blazing, poured in the water, and cooked up that rice. For the first time since I got dropped into this godforsaken world, the aroma rolling out of that pot, I stood there breathing it in like an absolute lunatic. Steaming white F-rank rice, with some killer grilled meat on the side. Fresh wild onions piled right on top. An actual meal loaded with carbs and flavor. I sat down, picked up my chopsticks, and honestly almost cried into my bowl. For 3 straight days I'd been choking down dry bread. canned garbage, and totally unseasoned barbecue. This was the absolute first meal that felt like real food. Legit, sit down and savor it food.
No rise, no real meal.
That's my golden rule, everything else is just snacking. Halfway through eating I totally froze. Something was nagging at the back of my brain. Wait, what did I forget? Copper bars. I was supposed to sell those copper bars right after upgrading. Passed right out instead. Oops. I slapped them onto the trade board. 20 F-rank crystals a bar or 2 E-rank, super steep, yeah. But hey, I'm the only supplier. And every single top-tier player desperately needs them to level up. Those top-tier players nearly fell right off their rafts. Scrambling to buy them. Finally. Take my crystals, super expensive. But I gotta have it, sold out instantly. Then I listed the blood rice, 10 crystals a serving. Gone in seconds. Light fruits? Gone.
Eling fruit?
Gone. And the buyer grabbing them first every single time? Little orange. This girl's reflexes are like a professional esports pro. Either she's glued 24/7 to the trade screen, or she's somehow unlocked precognitive superpowers, specifically tuned to buying my drops. At this point, she's not even a customer. She's a ride-or-die subscriber. The sweaty scalpers in chat watched my transaction log, flying by and went dead silent. Every single sale was another nail in their scammer coffin. Lin Bei products literally sell themselves. Zero marketing needed, my reputation is worth way more than their entire inventories combined. Crystals came pouring in, hundreds of them. My energy reserves shot right back up. Like a flash flood, though I knew this was just a massive spike. Not steady passive income. If I want to keep farming crystals off these players, I gotta keep dropping items they can't find anywhere else.
Grillé mea, spécialty fruit.
Blood rice, copper bars. There's no stopping this assembly line. First major issue. These system seeds are totally sterile. Once you plant them, they're gone for good. I'm constantly forced to restock from the trade market, just to keep my crop cycle alive. It's basically a subscription model, except I'm paying out of pocket for the raw materials. Problem number 2. I've got 80 square meters of prime farmland, and only half of it is actually seeded. The rest is just sitting there, crying out for crops. My afternoon schedule is an absolute nightmare. Buy seeds, plant seeds, water seeds, maintain the grills, stoke the furnace, grab resources. This so-called survival game has officially become a grueling full-time job. I'm grinding way harder than I ever did back in the real world. At least in my past life, I actually got weekends off. Down here, my boss is a stubborn turtle, and my coworkers are a fish and a tree. I desperately need farmhands. But where the hell do you hire help in the middle of the ocean? Right in the open sea. Meanwhile, the top-tier players finally secured their copper and leveled up to tier 3. Good for them, I guess. They're finally catching up, which is fine. Let them claw their way to where I used to be. By the time they actually arrive, I'll already be miles ahead. Then some guy in chat drops a screenshot of the level 4 upgrade requirements, and I literally almost choke on my rice. 1,000 wood, 800 plastic, 600 cloth, 300 iron nails, 150 iron bars, 80 copper bars, 30 glass blocks, 50 heavy iron plates, and some mythical item called a primary energy engine that literally nobody has ever laid eyes on. The global chat immediately threw a collective funeral. People were legitimately mourning their future progress. In real time, I'll never reach that. This is impossible. I'm gonna die stuck at level 3. Right after that panic, someone posts flex pics of their shiny, brand new level 3 boat, over 30 square meters, a cozy cabin, and a tier 3 workbench. Everyone in chat was drowning in pure jealousy. That's bigger than my actual apartment. I'm still stuck on a sad wooden raft. Meanwhile, I glanced down at my massive 200 square meters estate, my 4-room stone house, my 80 square meters farmland, my magical fruit-bearing tree, my personal fish pond, my industrial furnace, my dual barbecue grills, and my auto collector, and I decided to keep my mouth shut. Some flexes are honestly better left unsaid. Flexing too hard gets you flatlined, even online, especially online. The clock was ticking down, newbie protection ending in mere hours. Everyone could feel it. The entire village was locked in absolute panic-buying mode. Literally anything that boosts stats, any weapon, any piece of defense was flying off the shelves. Meanwhile, my grills were running non-stop. F-rank barbecue selling faster than concert tickets. I quickly checked the village population. 99,512 out of 100,000. only about 500 dead in 3 days. Mostly from doing dumb stuff. Not terrible. But tonight, once protection officially drops, nobody knows what's coming. I grabbed a solid dinner, rice, F-rank meat, heavy chili powder, wild onions, the whole works. I was just about to get back to the grind when the system dropped a massive bomb. Treasure chest event officially activated. Special chests spawning everywhere, loaded with game-changing defense blueprints. Arrow towers, ship spikes, hull armor. The system was basically screaming at us. You're gonna desperately need these. Talk about subtle. I climbed up onto Xuanwu's massive head to scout the horizon. The ocean was literally sparkling with treasure chests, looking like someone just carelessly scattered Christmas presents across the water. Black iron here, bronze over there, shimmering in the fading twilight. Xuanwu shopping spree. Let's go. We charged ahead as night finally fell. The ocean turned pitch black, but my turtle was totally glowing. The light-wing tree shone bright like a massive lantern, casting a soft golden aura over everything around us. Very pretty, super atmospheric, and practically screaming, "Come eat me," to every single sea beast within a mile. Glowing predatory eyes rose from the deep, dozens of them, then hundreds. The light was a massive neon beacon, and every monster in the neighborhood just RSVP'd to the party. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. I stood tall on Xuanwu's head, water blade locked in my left hand, earth chunk in my right, and went straight to work. 1/1 kill. Those pathetic F-rank beasts couldn't even get close. While Xuanwu just kept doing his usual thing down below, headbutting fish straight into oblivion, snapping targets entirely in half, basically acting like a 200 square meter wrecking ball. Then I noticed some of those glowing eyes getting massive. Brighter E-rank beasts starting to flood the zone. My reaction? Finally, something actually worth more than a single crystal. 1 water blade later, dead E-rank crystal. And 60 pounds of premium meat secured. From here on out, E-rank beasts are just walking XP piñatas. Now that my stats have smashed past 30, fighting them is like sending a house cat to brawl with a tank. After an absolute hour of carnage, I'd hauled in 5 black iron chests and 2 heavy bronze chests, cracked them all open for crystals, meat, raw materials, and even some compact defense structures. An arrow tower, floor spikes, hull armor I sized up against my base, then stared right at my massive 200 square meter turtle. These tiny little defenses would cover maybe 5% of my perimeter, like putting a single padlock on one window of an entire mansion. Barely even a speed bump for the scale of this thing. For the first time in my life, I genuinely thought Xuanwu might actually be way too big. Never thought I'd complain about having too much real estate. Talk about suffering from success. By 10 a.m., the village population had already dropped by a few hundred. More people getting completely wrecked out there, chasing chests and fighting beasts they had no business tangling with. The global chat was flooded with desperate screams. Does anyone have any healing items? I'm bleeding out and it won't stop. I'll pay literally anything right now. Meanwhile, all those smart players who bought up my light fruits and healing fruits this morning were sitting pretty. 1 single fruit was literally saving lives out here. People who thought 10 crystals was way too expensive this morning were now frantically offering 50 for supplies that were long gone. My tree only yields fruits every 3 days, and I'd cleared out my stock. Completely empty shelves, sorry folks. Next restock is Tuesday, though I did do something unexpected. I kept my baseline prices steady, refusing to price gouge. Even dumping cheap basic materials straight back onto the market. Specifically for the little guys who hadn't upgraded yet. Offering wood and plastic at absolute bargain rates. Not because I'm some saint. 'Cause those people are my future customers. If they get wiped out tonight, who's buying my barbecue tomorrow? Who's trading me crystals next week? Dead players don't shop. Keeping them alive is just pure ROI. This is a long-term business strategy, not a charity. But hey, if they want to call me a saint, I'm not gonna stop them. The light-wing tree glowed behind me like a neon nightlight, as I rode Xuanwu's massive head through the pitch-black water, scanning the horizon for more loot. More chests, more monsters, more sweet crystals. The newbie phase is officially ending. Whatever's coming next, I'll face it with a belly full of rice, a farming beast of a turtle, and way more combat XP than anyone else in this entire village. Keep grinding, Xuanwu. It's 10:30 at night, and global chat is in absolute meltdown mode. over whether I'm dropping another server-wide flex today. Where's Lin Bei's daily headline? Maybe the legend is finally taking a night off. Rest? Lin Bei doesn't even know what that word means. Nah, I bet he finally lost. I'll wager 1 crystal he drops a massive announcement tonight. 2 crystals says he's ghosting us. People are literally dropping bets on my daily grind. I've literally become a spectator sport. The Lin Bei Show. Broadcasting live from the top of a giant turtle near you. I had zero clue any of this hype was happening, though, because my eyes were locked on something way more lucrative. A gleaming silver treasure chest sitting right on the water's edge. And standing right next to it, not a random fish, not a stray wolf, not some mindless slime. A full-on humanoid creature with slate blue skin, decked out in rusty scale armor, and wielding a corroded trident. Its head was straight-up fish-faced, featuring bulging psycho eyes and a maw full of nightmare teeth. D-rank sea beast, fishman warrior. Possesses actual intelligence. Skilled with weapons, solid D-rank threat. The very first one I've ever laid eyes on. A monster that can think. And shred with proper combat technique. This wasn't some brainless guppy floating around, just waiting to get stabbed. This is an apex warrior. I take a deep breath. No rushing this guy blindly. We locked eyes across 20 meters of open ocean. This fishman's bulging eyes were practically screaming 3 things. Caution, hostility, and pure, unfiltered greed. He took 1 look at my giant turtle, all my loot, and literally everything I owned. And I swear, you could practically see actual dollar signs flashing in those ugly fish eyes. Lowering his trident, he sprinted straight across the water's surface. At absolute light speed, geysers detonating beneath his feet like a high-budget action movie. Did I back down? Hell no. Instead, I launched myself right off Xuanwu's back, instantly flash-freezing the ocean under my boots, into a concrete hard ice platform using hydrokinesis, and charged him head-on. That's right, I'm literally Jesus walking on water now, completely casual, just your average, everyday Tuesday night flex. Our blades collided in a violent clash, sending us both skidding back several meters. I quickly crunched the numbers in my head. His stats were sitting somewhere around 20, way stronger than me back when I was level 2, and enough to absolutely erase any average player. Too bad for him, every single one of my stats was pushing 30 plus. I clearly held the upper hand, but I didn't just want to steamroll him. I wanted to level up my combat IQ. Up until now, every fight was just stab brainless fish, loot core crystal. This guy was my very first opponent who actually knew how to fight. Parrying, dodging, counterattacking, feinting. This seafood special actually had legit martial arts skills. For the first time in forever, I finally had a proper sparring partner. So I dragged out the fight on purpose, popping a water shield to absorb his high-speed trident thrusts, then slicing back with water blades while launching earth spikes from his blind spots. I started testing out insane freestyle combos on him. Fake a left hook water blade to force him into a high guard, then slam a solid boulder directly into his ribcage from the side. The fishman stumbled, completely off balance. I closed the distance instantly and buried a right hook straight into his chest. He went airborne, flying backward while roaring in furious, aquatic rage. I rolled my knuckles out with a grin. Man, that felt good. Crisp connection, solid 8 out of 10. We traded blows back and forth for 15 straight minutes. Him losing his damn mind while I got smoother with every combo. By the end of it, I was seamlessly weaving through attacks, like a battle-hardened veteran who'd been doing this for a decade. Water blade, earth block, dodge, counter, water shield, advance. It was basically a deadly dance. A super violent, soaking wet fishy dance. I faked out the killing blow with a water blade. He raised his trident to block, and I dropped an earth boulder straight into his skull. Lights out for the chat. The viewers who were smugly roasting my quiet grind got the broadcast notification at exactly 11 p.m. Lin Bei. First D-rank Sea Beast kill reward. Talent upgrade stone. The absolute eruption in chat was legendary. I knew it, the man was just fashionably late. Who said there'd be no announcement? Your face has got to be burning right now. 11 p.m. on the dot, this guy's got main character timing. What even is a talent upgrade stone? Never heard of it. The doubters were paying up in absolute shame, while the believers started cashing out. With the ultimate smugness of high roller winners, I stood over the fishman's corpse, panting hard. 15 straight minutes of real combat is exhausting. even with 30-point stats, but the loot was gorgeous. 1 D-rank crystal, glowing with deep purple power. 100 pounds of D-rank meat, and the fisherman's trident.
Antilles holandeses actual, proper de rank B a punt.
My trusty wooden spear just earned an honorable retirement. Then I popped the talent upgrade stone. Farming Master Level 1. Level 2. Growth speed bonus jumped from 100% to 120%. Mutation chance spiked from 30% all the way to 40%. My crops now grow more than twice as fast. And almost half of them mutate into rare variants. The farming empire just got a massive patch update. Finally, time for the silver chest. I ripped it open like Christmas morning. A D-rank energy attack tower blueprint. 20-meter range with auto-targeting. Crystal-powered. An actual turret for my turtle fortress. 5 contract scrolls. For binding beasts. To unbreakable, permanent loyalty. 5 D-rank crystals, 20 heavy iron plates, and 10 precision components. I absorbed every single crystal from the entire raid. Frank.
E rank, D rank.
Every last drop went straight into the tank. Sitting at 814 energy, Sean Wu needs 2000 to hit level 4. We're getting closer, but inspecting my defensive layout, 8 total buildings and most of them are small fry. A cold shiver hits me. My turtle is a massive 200 square meters. These tiny arrow towers and basic spike strips are basically slapping band-aids on a football field. The coverage is pathetic, nowhere near enough. And if my megafortress feels this thin, what about the regular players? They're floating on 30 square meter dinghies, packing maybe 1 or 2 dinky little arrow towers. And they are my customers. Every player who bites the dust is a crystal I'm never getting. Every dead body means a lost. Active subscriber to Lin Bei's Ocean Marketplace. Their survival is literally my entire business model. Just as the treasure chest event wrapped up, the system dropped a parting message, cheerful as always. Look forward to the first challenge. Look forward to it? That's like a sadistic dentist saying, look forward to your root canal. Whatever's coming, it's dropping soon. Time to upgrade my turtle into an absolute military base. I rolled out all my defense blueprints. Like a hardcore general. Planning total war. A D-rank energy tower right dead center. A sleek metal pillar topped with a pulsing purple orb. That looks straight out of a blockbuster sci-fi flick. I added 4 F-rank arrow towers lining the stone walls, plus 2 heavy E-rank ballistic cannons. 1 pointing forward, 1 covering Sean Wu's back. Because even divine turtles need rear protection. I plugged crystals into every single building, and they instantly lit up and hummed with power. Locked and loaded, my turtle evolved from a mobile farm into a floating aircraft carrier. The entire shell was blazing with weapon lights, looking like a lethal Christmas tree of death. Super expensive though. These guns literally devour crystals just by existing. The energy tower alone drains 5 crystals a day, just to stay powered on. I'm literally bleeding money in my sleep. Military budgets are no joke. Not even in the apocalypse. Out there, everyone else was scrambling to build defenses too. Tiny arrow towers mounted on pathetic little rafts. Flimsy spike walls wrapping around tiny boats. It was equal parts adorable and utterly terrifying. And then the clock struck midnight. Props on making it out of the newbie phase alive. New meta drop. Sea beast attack rates are permanent now. 0 hand-holding left. Good luck out there. Oh, and the global leaderboard just went live. A brutal ranking system flashed right in every player's face. Rank 1, Lin Bei. Level 3, absolutely crushing it with 1,520 points. Rank 2 barely scraped together 980. I wasn't just winning, I was absolutely dominating. I had half as much points again over second place. The gap was so massive. You could literally park Sean Wu in it. And look at rank 10. Little Orange, sitting pretty at level 2. Score, 420. My ride-or-die customer actually cracked the top 10. Who's laughing now? The chat popped off celebrating the leaderboard hype. Before cold, hard reality punched everyone square in the jaw. The ocean violently erupted, glowing red eyes staring from the depths. Way more than any night before. A literal tsunami of nightmare monsters surged from the abyss. And this time, they weren't just casually floating around, waiting for easy loot. They were out for blood. Somewhere off in the distance, a wooden raft literally exploded. A colossal fish smashed right through the middle of it. The poor bastard on top didn't even get to scream. Before getting yanked under. A sickening cloud of red bloomed on the surface like a twisted flower. This wasn't just one freak accident. This massacre was happening thousands of times simultaneously. In the first hour alone, over 6,000 people bit the dust. The village population nosedived from nearly 99,000. Straight down to 91,222. 6,000 souls gone just like that. That's higher than the entire 3-day newbie grace period combined. All packed into 1 hour. The chat instantly melted down into pure panic. Frantic screams and SOS coordinates flooding the screen. Desperate players begging for rescue that would never show up. Because everyone was too busy fighting. For their own miserable lives. Anyone under level 2 got completely vaporized. Their pathetic little rafts crumbled like cheap crackers. The ones who refused to upgrade, refused to prep, and refused to stockpile wiped out. The dark ocean swallowed them up without a single whisper. Level 2s and above managed to tough it out for the most part. Defense structures actually pulled their weight. Smart players started fighting back aggressively. And finally cracked the enemy pattern. Wipe out enough of the wave and the survivors tuck tail and run. It's not an infinite grind, it's a brutal DPS check. Clear it and you earned yourself a breather. Now it was my turn. 15 ugly-ass mutant fish locked onto Shan Wu and charged. Rising from below. The energy tower's orb spun once and blasted a vicious purple beam. Lead fish, total toast instantly. Then the arrow towers unleashed hell, sending arrows whizzing through the air like angry hornets. The ballista boomed, its heavy bolt punching straight through. 2 fish at once. And I didn't even lift a finger. The remaining fish took one look at the rave party lighting up my turtle, and bolted. Smartest move of their short, ugly lives. First wave cleared in roughly 15 seconds. I barely budged from my lazy lean against the tower until I did the math on crystal consumption, and immediately slammed everything, except the arrow towers into standby mode. Those big guns are strictly break glass in case of emergency only. I cannot afford to run this military-grade operation 24/7. The defense budget would straight up bankrupt me by Thursday. So, while the world burned around me, I dropped a casual message in global chat. Buying all types of seeds. Special varieties welcome. Slide into my DMs. Because in the middle of the apocalypse, while people were literally fighting for their lives, Lin Pei was out here seed shopping. The chat completely stalled, torn on whether I was a lunatic or an absolute legend. Private messages started flooding in. Wheat seeds here, chili seeds there. All kinds of basic crops. I was gobbling everything up. Like a hyperactive shopper at a weekend farmer's market. Then, a familiar name popped up. Little Orange. I have seeds. What kind? Hee, guess. I'm sorry. Did you just hee at me in the middle of a literal monster apocalypse? This girl has the survival instincts of an excited golden retriever, and honestly, I kind of respect it. Before I could even reply, she dumped her whole inventory on me. F-rank golden wheat seeds, F-rank green veggies, E-rank fire chili peppers, and I had to read this part 3 times.
D-rank meat mushroom. D-rank seed?
She casually rolled up with the rarest agricultural loot I'd ever laid eyes on, including a literal shroom that grows meat, an actual plant that manufactures meat. If that's legit, I can feed Shen Wu through farming instead of hunting. I stared down at her inventory list, like a guy staring at a winning lottery ticket. Who even is this girl? She's level 2. Rank 10 on the leaderboard. Drops 10 crystals on barbecue without blinking. And packs seeds that would make pro farmers weep. She's either the luckiest player alive, or she's running a cheat code that makes mine look like child's play. And she calls me Big Boss while sitting on a horde. That could completely flip my game. Little Orange, you terrifying mystery child. What are you? Little Orange's seed stash made my jaw hit the floor. Turtle shell golden wheat. Green veggies, blazing hot chili peppers. And the crown jewel, D-rank meat mushrooms. A literal fungus that grows meat. If I can farm meat, I can feed Shan Wu without hunting. That's not just a seed, that's a retirement plan. Where'd you even get all this? I asked. Treasure chests. Treasure chests don't drop loot like this. I'm just lucky.
Tehe.
Just lucky, sure. And I'm just chilling on a 200 square meter. Battle turtle. We're all just living our best lives. I needed those seeds like I needed oxygen. But I'm not paying full price when I hold all the cards. Time to negotiate. What do you want for them? Grilled meat, The yummy kind. This girl's entire economic strategy boils down to trading everything she owns for good food. She's not a survivor. She's a foodie who accidentally unlocked God mode. Your rank is running low, I typed. But I've got D-rank meat, fresh off the grill. 10 times better than what you've got. 5 seconds of silence. I want it. D-rank is expensive. I have crystals. Don't want crystals. Then what? I snap a screenshot of her seed list and fire it back. All of these, for 20 pieces of D-rank grilled meat. You're a bandit. I closed out the chat and started counting. 1, 2, tachar. Wait, deal. I broke her in 3 seconds flat. New personal record. Negotiation is an absolute art form, and honestly,
I'm Picasso.
except right after, I demanded, you've got to tell me why your luck is this insane. She hesitated, then dropped a screenshot of her player panel right into chat. S-rank talent, blessing of the goddess of fortune. Massively increased probability of pulling high-tier loot. Straight from treasure chests. Massively boosted rare drop rates in combat too. I nearly dropped my trident right into the ocean. An S-rank luck talent? She doesn't just get better loot. The universe literally bends probability just for her. Every single chest she cracks open is totally rigged in her favor. Every monster she obliterates drops premium gear. She's walking around with loaded dice literally sewn into her DNA. And here I was thinking my talents were overpowered. This girl's skill turns the entire gacha system into her personal ATM. She's not even playing the same game as the rest of us. She's running on easy mode, with an official cheat code straight from the devs. No wonder she's sitting on D-rank seeds by day 3. No wonder she always has crystals to burn. No wonder she snipes every single listing I put up, before anyone else can even blink. She probably stumbled across 10 treasure chests, just brushing her teeth this morning. I took a deep breath and immediately filed away. A very important mental note. Never underestimate other players. I've been strutting around, thinking I'm the main character, but this girl, rocking pigtails and a stomach the size of a hamster, is sitting on an absolute gold mine, fueled by pure probability manipulation. Humbling, a little, useful, extremely, having a trading partner, who pulls better loot than everyone else on the server. That's an elite supply chain. 20 D-rank grilled meats went out, and all the seeds came back fair and square. Did I overcharge her slightly? Okay, definitely. But she got premium barbecue, and I secured the agricultural future of my entire turtle empire. Total win-win. I planted everything right away. Golden wheat, vibrant green veggies, fire chilies and hearty meat mushrooms. Every single seed went straight into the dirt. Across my glorious 80 square meters. The rare drops secured prime spots near the light wing tree. For that sweet, sweet growth bonus. Standard seeds from other traders completely filled the gaps. And by 2 a.m. every single plot was planted and watered. I took a quick shower, face planted into bed, and passed out cold. Morning brought absolute chaos. The global chat exploded when everyone realized their personal info was now leaking coordinates. Real map positions where literally anyone could track you down. Naturally, some absolute clown immediately doxed himself. Hey look. I'm at. Delete that. You absolute moron. People can hunt you down now. Coordinates meant players could finally meet face to face, form alliances and trade in person. It also meant open season for robbing and backstabbing. This ocean just got a whole lot more social, and not in a fun, friendly way. Then a massive server announcement dropped, and for once my name wasn't on it. Player. Lin IMO has officially founded the very first player organization, the Soaring Cloud Pavilion. Sitting comfortably at 3rd on the global leaderboard, Lin snagged a guild contract from a silver chest, and used it to launch a legit powerhouse faction. He was already mass recruiting and organizing his ranks, even having the audacity to slide into my DMs. Lin Bei, wanna join? I'll make you vice leader. I left him on read. Be a vice leader under a guy ranked lower than me? That's like asking a tech billionaire to step down as CEO to intern. Meanwhile, the rest of the server lost their minds forming cliques, guilds and coalitions, merchant syndicates, mutual aid societies, you name it. Everyone was desperate to team up. My inbox instantly flooded with people begging to pledge their loyalty, serve under me and worship the ground I walk on. I ignored every single pathetic message. I'm not running a charity guild. I'm building an agricultural empire. Maybe down the road I'll recruit a handful of actual reliable assets. But today is definitely not that day. I glanced over at my turtle and decided it was finally time for a proper upgrade. Sean was City. One day that name won't be a joke. One day this shell is going to be a massive, thriving metropolis. Right on cue, my energy tower flared to life and blasted an invasive fish clean off the edge of the shell. I peered out into the dark horizon, spotting glowing eyes staring back. And there were a lot of them. Way worse than last night's midnight ambush. And these weren't just petty F-rank pests. Brutal E-rank beasts were swarming in, actively hunting down the players. These sea monsters were getting stronger, evolving side by side with the survivors. Last night's wave was just the appetizer. This was the main course. And things were about to get apocalyptic. For anyone still stuck on level 1 rafts, who hadn't stockpiled any food, hadn't built defenses, hadn't upgraded a thing. This was a literal death sentence in real time. I gripped my fishman trident and stood tall. My paying customers are under attack. My target market is shrinking. Every dead player is a crystal I'll never loot. And a customer who'll never buy my barbecue. Time to punch the clock. The global death counter was ticking like crazy. 90,813 players left with hundreds perishing every hour. The world chat looked like a digital graveyard. Is there any hope? I honestly can't take this. Someone please save us, pretty please. Tragic, yeah, but I had crops to harvest. My entire farm was ready all at once. Christmas morning for a cultivator. Watermelons massive round. Gorgeous. Sitting on the vines like solid green bowling balls. Tomatoes so vividly red they looked fake. Potatoes violently punching through the dirt. Trying to break free, and half of them mutated. My maxed out farming master talent boosted the mutation rate to a nutty 40%. And it was delivering faster than Amazon Prime. 20 blood-patterned watermelons.
E-rank boost constitution 30 burst tomato.
E-rank boost strength 20 earthquake potatoes. E-rank boost speed 70 mutant vegetables. 70 little stat boosting masterpieces that literally no one else on this ocean could dream of growing. But then right in the corner of my field sat a watermelon that put the rest to absolute shame. Golden rind glowing runes. Radiating pure protagonist energy. D-rank golden pattern. Melon medium constitution boost. My very first D-rank crop ever. That talent upgrade didn't just boost mutation rates. It cranked up the mutation quality. My farm isn't just spitting out food anymore. It's manufacturing pure power-ups. I slapped the whole inventory on the trade board. 10 crystals a pop for any mutant fruit or veggie. No trial pricing, no discounts, no haggle. The brand is officially established. Linbei products sell themselves, steep price and all. Then a review rolls in. I bought 3 and my stats skyrocketed. Someone else instantly replies, "Shut up and take my crystals." Boom, 70 items wiped out in literally 10 minutes. Crystals flooding in like a blown dam. I was absorbing them as fast as they hit the account. My energy counter spinning like a hyper gas pump. And then, a total plot twist. People started begging for the normal stuff. Just give me a regular watermelon. I just want to taste a tomato. I don't care about stats. Can I just buy a plain potato, please? It hit me like a runaway truck. These poor bastards haven't seen a fresh fruit or vegetable in 4 days, surviving strictly on stale bread. Can meat and pure despair. A basic watermelon isn't even food to them anymore. It's a high-class luxury experience. This is the apocalypse equivalent of Michelin star dining. I immediately listed the basics. Regular watermelon, 2 crystals. Regular tomato, 2 crystals. Regular potato, 2 crystals. And poof, gone in a millisecond. People were snatching up potatoes like they were uncut diamonds. I'm not just the barbecue king anymore, guys. I'm running the entire grocery store. The absolute only supermarket in a sea of 100,000 starving people. And my shelves are the only ones stocked with produce. Right as I'm counting my massive profits, Little Orange hits my comms again. "Hey, got any watermelon left? I've got something insane to trade." "What kind of insane?" "A special plant. A tornvine. You plant it right around your boat, and it shreds any sea beasts dumb enough to touch it. A defense plant. Something that creeps along my walls, and rips apart anything trying to climb up. Bro, that's not a plant, that's a living security system." "I'm completely out of E-rank watermelon," I told her. "But I do have 1 D-rank golden melon." "Yes, I need that. 10 rare E-rank crystals plus the thorn vine deal." Honestly, could have charged way more. Sure, I could have gouged her a bit. She would have thrown all her cash at a D-rank fruit. The girl's entire personality is literally trading rare tactical gear for delicious snacks. But hey, she's my VIP customer. My most consistent supplier. And honestly, her chaotic energy is kind of iconic. You don't slaughter your golden goose. You feed it watermelons. And let that cash cow keep printing. Deal locked in, I brought the thorn vine. Seed straight to the edge of Xuanwu's shell. Dug out a pocket, dropped it in. Poured some water, and the sprout burst through the dirt. Instantly, vibrant emerald tendrils started scaling the stone walls. Like a living perimeter of razor wire. Speed running its growth right before my eyes, thorny, vicious, and gorgeous. And right on cue, the beast taming system chimes in. Contractable flora detected.
Thorn vine contract?
I smirked. Ever since bonding with the lightwing tree, I've been waiting for this moment. Out here on Xuanwu's back. Plants are low-key way more OP than animals. The tree supercharges my farm. This vine is about to lock down my defenses. Every single contract pushes the whole system to the next level. Noobs out here taming random wolves and fish. Meanwhile, I'm out here min-maxing agriculture. Only 60 energy points to upgrade the thorn vine? That's absolute pocket change. I'm sitting on a cool 1,847 points. That's basically walking up to a billionaire and asking if he can spare $1 for a burger. Poured the points in and the vine instantly hyper-evolved. Thorny vines shot across the stone fortifications. Like they were late for their own wedding. Spikes everywhere. Plus these bizarre floral pods sprouted all along the length. Fist-sized, chunky, and radiating pure menace. Oh, and it's packing heat now. Those pods can actually launch high-speed seed projectiles. It's literally a biological turret system built right into my walls. Had to test it out. One pod cracked open its flowery little jaws and spat a green payload 10 meters out. Cleared the ocean gap and slapped the water like a sniper round. My home defense just got an artillery upgrade. But hold up, the contract feedback just dropped something even crazier. Wood attribute control lets you bend flora to your absolute will. I flicked my hand right toward a heavy tomato plant. The main stem snapped upright like a soldier standing at rigid attention. I flashed a swift plucking motion. A gorgeous, ripe tomato ripped off the vine and dropped straight into my palm. Bro, I literally just became a Jedi for vegetables. No more backbreaking bending, no more sickles. Zero tools needed. I can clear out my entire harvest just by waving my hands around. Like some kind of wizard conducting a symphony. Farming speedrun officially unlocked. I bit right into the floating tomato, insanely juicy. Unreal flavor, harvested purely by telekinesis. Peak living. 200 points dropped for level 3, and it's done. Without missing a beat, the vine went completely ballistic. It wrapped around the absolute perimeter of Xuanwu's shell. Every single inch of stonework vanished beneath a thick, savage carpet of thorny green death, loaded with flower buds every half-meter, lined up like elite snipers on a fortress wall. The system instantly upgraded it to Spore Thorn Vine level 3, easily capable of shredding E-rank sea beasts to pieces. My turtle is officially wrapped in a living, barbed wire death fence that fires back. From the outside looking in, Xuanwu now looks like a floating jungle fortress. Any sea beast dumb enough to test my perimeter gets impaled, slowed to a crawl, and pelted with high-speed seed bullets all at once. Come at me, ocean. I double-dog dare you. Energy pool down to 1,587. Still plenty left in the tank for Xuanwu's next upgrade. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Around noon, I noticed something sketchy. It was hot, like noticeably way hotter than it had any right to be. I checked the system readout, 34 degrees Celsius. A massive jump from the usual 28 or 29. The climate's shifting. I immediately filed that under future Lin Bei's headache. I kicked back under the lightwing tree, soaking in the pristine shade, super aesthetic, and cracked open my personal D-rank golden melon. Spliced it right down the middle and took a bite. Absolute heaven. Hands down the sweetest, most mind-blowing watermelon I've ever slammed. If a regular store-bought melon is a solid 7 out of 10, this was a 47. My taste buds threw an entire parade. My stats ticked up by 0.1 constitution. Doesn't sound like much on paper, but at my high level, sitting comfortably past 32, gaining any stats now is basically squeezing water from dry stone. For an average player, though, this melon is an absolute game changer. I dropped the other half on the trade board and 3 E-rank crystals vanished in a nanosecond. And for once, Little Orange wasn't the one who snagged it. Some random player totally beat her to the punch. She must have blinked at the worst possible second, because her insane streak is officially broken. The buyer flexed in chat. My constitution just skyrocketed from 7.1 to 8.3, a massive plus 1.2 gain from just half a watermelon. Global chat immediately lost its collective mind. I've been grinding my life away for days and only gained 0.5. Lin Bei's items are straight up illegal. Sell more, please. I'll pay 10 earring crystals. Now, I actually had one final golden melon left, and I was totally planning to keep it for myself. Hey, sometimes you just gotta treat yourself, right? Too bad. Status update. Sold out of rare items. The absolute wailing in chat right now could probably be heard across entire oceans. Then, out of nowhere, a sketchy private message popped up from an unknown player. Lin Bei, you better watch your back for Ocean Drifter. What's that supposed to mean? No reply. They instantly went offline. Ocean Drifter. Isn't he ranked second on the leaderboard? The legendary Iron Bar Island guy. I've actually traded with him a bunch of times. Curious, I pulled up his recent activity and found out he's formed a massive clan called Tide Gang. His recruitment post literally reads like a pirate manifesto. Join up with me and we'll eat like kings. Players sitting on good loot are our prime targets. Well, my mysterious informant was right, because I managed to dig up a leaked screenshot of a message he sent straight to his goons. Keep close tabs on Lin Bei's movements. He hasn't even formed an official faction yet. So right now is our golden window. Once we pinpoint his exact chords, we strike. I'm betting he's packing a ridiculously powerful special talent. Take him down, and we hit the absolute jackpot. I read through that threat 3 times, then burst out laughing. This guy. This second place, iron peddling, island camping clown, actually thinks he can roll up and rob me? The guy with insane 32-point stats. A massive 200 square meter floating battle turtle. Fully decked out in living barbed wire. A high-output energy cannon, dual arrow tower ballistas, water blade mastery, earth control, plant manipulation, and an impenetrable water shield. Please, please, come find me. I'll feed your whole squad to the fishes. And then run a barbecue stand, cooking whatever sea beasts feast on your leftovers. I slapped that screenshot in my archives, kept dead silent and got back to the grind. Then, right on the horizon I spotted it. Another shadowy monolith dwarfing the first island. Massively bigger. A brand new landmass. More raw resources, richer or veins. Prime soil, the whole jackpot. I patted Sean Wu right on the shell. Full send, buddy. Island Expedition number 2. This time I'm packing a wishlist and a whole lot of attitude. This new turf makes the last one look like a sandbox. Easily triple the size. Flat terrain, absolute free real estate. Except for a dozen sea beasts lounging on the beach like resort tourists. Frank wolves. E-rank razorfish and 2 D-rank rock giants. Absolute units. Clunky, stone-encrusted, and pissed off at the world. I ordered Sean Wu to anchor down and vacuum up sand and soil, while I went out to handle some business. I vaulted off the shell, instantly freezing the waves beneath my boots. Casual ice skating, just another Tuesday in the apocalypse. Then I bolted straight for the shoreline. Like the main character of an action blockbuster. The local welcoming committee tried to chew me up. Tragic mistake. First wolf took a trident straight through the throat. Numbers 2 and 3, slaughtered by water blades and dirt spikes. Next, the 2 D-rank giants rushed me at once, flexing all that rocky muscle. I cored the first one right through the eye, and sliced the other's windpipe with a water whip. Barely minutes later, the beach looked like a horrific monster graveyard. 15 kills down, surrounded by mountains of crystals and fresh meat. I started stripping the island of every usable asset, looting like an absolute pro. Suddenly, Sean Wu blasted a mental SOS straight to my brain. Intruders. I sprinted back to find 3 level 2 sailboats, docked right next to my turtle. These absolute geniuses looked at a massive 200 square meter fortress turtle, complete with defensive walls, watchtowers, and a glowing tree, and thought, ah, cool, an empty island. Let's go explore. And they actually scaled the walls. The thorn vine was already locked and loaded. Vicious green tendrils snapped out like strikes from vipers, latched straight onto their ankles, and drove razor-sharp thorns deep into their flesh. 3 grown men howling like they just stepped on a pile of Legos. The rest of their crew froze dead on the boats, completely paralyzed with terror. I vaulted onto the wall and glared down at them, looking like a massively disappointed landlord cornering squatters. Their leader looked up, finally realizing this floating island had an absolute owner, and his face cycled through all 5 stages of grief. In barely 2 seconds flat. "Oh, you thought this was a free-for-all? Nah, buddy, this is my custom estate. And you just broke into my crib." Which also happens to be a giant turtle and a heavily armed fortress. The thorn vine casually chucked all 3 of them clean over the wall, like aggressive bouncers tossing out rowdy clubgoers. Did they learn their lesson? Did they apologize? Did they make the smart choice and run? Hell no, the leader whipped out a crossbow and fired right at my face. I dodged that bolt like it was crawling in super slow motion, because compared to my insane 32-point speed stat, it genuinely was, while a water blade sliced his shoulder wide open, sending blood spraying everywhere. "Tack!" he shrieked, and all of them opened fire with arrows. Heavy spears, the whole arsenal. Not gonna lie, these guys were actually stacked by normal standards. Total high tiers in the regular player meta, just not against me. My mana water shield effortlessly absorbed every single hit. Suddenly, the thorn vine's flower buds flared open simultaneously, and unleashed a vicious barrage of deadly seed bullets. High-speed green rounds, ripping through the atmosphere like a heavy-caliber turret, punching clean exit wounds through anyone in their path. 15 seconds flat, 3 bodies down. Honestly easier than farming low-level sea beasts. My overgrown pet did literally all the heavy lifting. I barely had to break a sweat, showing mercy to bloodthirsty pirates who strike on sight. In a ruthless, lawless ocean world? Please. These clowns had the hyper-coordinated movement of professional seasoned pillagers. This definitely wasn't their first rodeo. It was just their final one. I raided their inventory, crystals, rare materials, rare blueprints. All the standard high-tier loot drops. Until something genuinely extraordinary caught my eye. A teleportation stone that stores custom coordinate points, and instantly warps you across the map upon activation. Excuse me? Fast travel is actually a thing in this broken universe? I pocketed that treasure so violently my hand practically broke the sound barrier. So I head over to check their boats and catch this faint noise. Just a tiny sound tucked away in the corner. I yank back a pile of discarded rags. And boom, 2 women and 1 guy. 1 woman completely passed out, literally skin and bones. Tattered clothes, nasty rope burns dug deep into their wrists. Undeniable proof. They were slaves. These scumbags captured them after their vessels went down. Forced them to haul gear, cook, and scrub the decks. Starved them half to death and beat them the second they slowed down. I just stood there for a few silent seconds, letting the reality sink in. These poor souls had literally lost everything. No boat means instant death in this brutal world. They were dead meat the moment their rafts shattered. And these pirate scum graciously offered them a choice. Between brutal slavery or a watery grave. Well, I rolled up with a much better deal. You're staying on my ship. You'll work farming, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the animals. And what's the catch? In return, you get regular meals and total safety. You actually get to live. The woman just broke down crying. You'd really take us in? Damn right. Though I'm laying it all out up front. Pull your weight and don't bring me any drama. Are we clear? They were nodding so fast their heads almost popped off. I carefully hauled the unconscious woman onto the Shenwu, stashed her in the cabin, and served up food for everyone. They devoured it like they hadn't seen a crumb in days. Because let's be real, they hadn't. Even. The knocked-out chick snapped awake and started inhaling the bread. That's when I pulled out the binding contracts. Special scrolls straight from the silver chest. The beauty of these magic contracts? Once they sign, they literally cannot betray me, period. Sign on the dotted line, and they didn't even blink at the terms. Just slapped their signatures down instantly. When your alternative is sinking to the bottom of the ocean, the fine print suddenly stops mattering very much to new employees. Finally, I'm done carrying the entire workload solo. No more pulling double duty as farmer, chef, janitor, warrior, fisherman, and CEO all at the exact same time. I've officially got a crew now, Lin Bay Incorporated. Just leveled up from a solo gig to a legit enterprise. Then I looted those dead pirates' crystals. Over 100 F-rank ones. A dozen E-ranks, and 2 solid D-ranks. Time to absorb the lot. Watched that energy meter skyrocket higher and higher. And kept climbing up to 2,062 points. Sean Wu only needed 2,000 for level 4. I cleared the threshold with 62 points to spare. I strode right to the center of the shell, cracked my knuckles and took a deep breath. Shanwu, get ready. But right before I slammed the button, I hesitated. Last time he rocketed from 50 to 200 square meters. If that pattern holds up, this next upgrade is going to be insane. I need to strategize because whatever drops next, the entire layout of my turtle city is shifting. Big breath in, let's do this. Time to build something legendary. I patted Shanwu's head. You ready, buddy? He let out a roar so deafening. It sent massive shockwaves across the ocean. Back inside the cabin, my 4 new employees looked like they were having simultaneous heart attacks. I poked my head in. It's about to get wild. Stay inside and hold onto your seats. They huddled together like scared kittens. During a brutal thunderstorm, fair enough. Shanwu, level up. The shell didn't just rumble this time. It triggered a full-scale earthquake. Easily the most violent evolution yet. The ocean itself was trembling, as if Mother Nature was terrified of what was unfolding. 300 square meters, 500, 700, 900 bright blue, yellow and green energy, bursting out of every crack in the shell. Looking like a rave engineered by a deity, the expansion dragged on for a solid 10 minutes, while past upgrades took mere seconds. This one required an intermission. When the blinding light finally faded, I surveyed my brand new domain. 999 square meters, literally 1 square meter shy of 1,000. The system is definitely trolling me. Even so, that's practically a quarter-acre of land. An elliptical platform sprawling like a public park. My turtle is now undeniably larger than most people's houses. Yards and garages put together. My 4 employees stumbled out the door, took one look, and completely crashed their brains. How is this a vehicle? Is this even legal? I flashed a grin. I'm Lin Bei. Their jaws hit the floor so hard I thought they'd shatter. The Lin Bei leaderboard? Numero uno. Lin Bei. The exact second they realized, they accidentally swore lifelong fealty to the absolute goat of the server. That sheer panic in their eyes instantly melted away, swapped for pure relief. From pirate captives to getting rescued by a literal celebrity. Talk about hitting the absolute jackpot overnight. You're crashing here. Keep your nose clean. Pull your weight, and I've got your back. The girls looked like they were about to waterworks again. Can you blame them? After days of pirate abuse and starvation, landing on a massive 1,000 square meter fortress, stacked with endless food and fresh water, had to feel like absolute heaven. Boom. New stats just dropped for Xiao Wu. Mystic Vault Giant Turtle. Level 4 shell defense, insane earth power buffs, and a massive spike in upkeep costs. 500 energy points a day or top-tier prime meat. Next upgrade requirement? 10,000 energy points. 10,000. I stared at that ridiculous number and watched my soul casually leave my body. Are you kidding me? Grinding my entire stockpile. From 0 to 2,000. Already felt like climbing Everest. And now the system has the audacity to say, do that 5 more times, bestie. This isn't a grind anymore. It's a full-time career. Oh, and a brand new feature. Sea charts tracking geography, islands, and high-danger monster zones. Basically Google Maps for the apocalypse ocean. Haven't even opened it yet. Way too busy flexing. Cue the mandatory server broadcast. Lin Bei is officially the first to hit level 4. Reward? 5 silver treasure chests. 5. Not 1. 5 whole chests. Looks like the system is finally recognizing my worth. Meanwhile, global chat is having its regularly scheduled meltdown. Bro, we're still grinding level 3. This guy is literally playing a completely different game. Didn't chat say he was washed yesterday? Lin Bei is an actual god among men. Turns out all the other top dogs were completely hard-stuck. They had every single material for level 4 except one missing piece. A primary energy engine that nobody even knew how to acquire. They really thought I'd be hard-stuck too. They really thought we were on the same playing field. Plot twist. I didn't even touch the loot chests yet. 0 time for that. I had major construction to kick off. Watch this. Leaving 1,000 square meters of empty turtle shell sitting there? Absolute waste of potential. This place was begging for some urban planning. Shan Wu, start devouring everything on this island right now. Every single piece of it. Shan Wu's level 4 earth control was operating on a whole different stratosphere. Solid rock? Dirt? Even massive trees got ripped straight out of the ground by invisible force fields, soaring through the air and slamming down onto the shell. The entire island was actively being digested by my turtle. Consumed, swallowed whole and wiped clean from existence. I started barking orders like a deranged city planner hopped up on espresso. Tail section. I need a 10-meter tall hill built right now. 3 distinct tiers, that's going to be my VIP estate. Tons of rock and soil literally stacked themselves, raising an entire mini-mountain right out of the turtle's back. 3 gorgeous platforms, each one a stepped terrace, and my living quarters taking up the penthouse suite. Dead center, 300 square meters of prime agricultural farmland. Wait, let's reorganize all the crops right around that light wing. And just like that, trees and plants uprooted themselves and sprinted into position in pristine rows. The entire farming sector was relocated and supersized in mere minutes. That's right, high-end agricultural infrastructure, completely handled by pure telekinesis. Now, shift that crystal fish pond straight up to the first terrace. The entire pool lifted off the ground, floating gracefully to settle on the primary platform. The crystal fish immediately did a victory lap in her brand new elevated estate. A literal penthouse pool. Honestly, she's living way better than actual humans in this apocalypse. Front section, time to drop 10 houses. 15 square meters each, cozy studio apartments for my loyal crew. Solid stone walls shot up and roofs slid smoothly into place. 10 tidy little homes lined up in neat rows. An instant suburban neighborhood. My employees officially have company-provided housing now. The benefits package here at Lin Bay Inc. just keeps getting scarily good. Next up, a public restroom. There is zero chance I'm letting my brand new city smell like a wet fish market. If it's just one guy living alone, whatever, do what you want. Once you've got a community, sanitation is top priority. We're building actual civilization out here, and real civilization requires indoor plumbing. A sleek public bathhouse structure materialized right in the corner, complete with private stalls. Not super luxurious, but insanely functional. Building codes are finally being enforced around here. Enclose the whole thing with a solid 2-meter wall. Massive stone blocks flew into place, forming a legit city wall around the entire perimeter. Standing 2 meters tall, unyielding stone now locked in all 999 square meters. The thorn vine immediately tried its absolute best to cover the new walls. Stretched, it climbed, reaching barely a tenth of the perimeter, before completely running out of vine. I could literally feel its sheer despair through our bond. This poor plant was having a massive existential crisis, trying to stretch itself across a space 5 times larger than before. I sent it a mental hug. Don't worry, little guy, we'll upgrade you soon. Perked up slightly. What an emotionally fragile houseplant. The second the last stone settled into place, I turned around. The island behind us was completely gone. Just flat open ocean where solid land used to be. Every single grain of sand, every pebble, every tree, all absorbed straight into Shuangmu City. I stood proudly atop my 10-meter hill, surveying my brand new domain. Residential district, agricultural zone, fish pond, defense towers, workshop area, and the mountain I live on. My 4 employees were standing at the base of the hill, jaws dropped and totally speechless. One of them whispered, "He's not building a boat. He's building an entire country." Yeah, I am. Shanwu City got a full luxury renovation, and I became a landlord, urban planner, and plumber. All in one afternoon. First things first, that 1,000 square meter shell was basically a blank canvas. Sure, other players would gladly sell their kidneys for this much space, but honestly, some rich people's penthouses are already this big. I'm not building a full kingdom yet. I'm building Starter Kingdom version 1.0, the alpha test of my empire. I sent my new employees to get some rest and got straight to work. Xuanwu, transplant some mature trees to the first terrace. Make it look pretty. Trees were violently ripped out of the ground and floated gently onto the first platform, acting like Mother Nature's personal interior design service.
Instant landscaping.
My giant turtle officially has curb appeal now. 3rd floor, my custom penthouse. I used earth manipulation to build myself a legitimate 2-bedroom pad, complete with a living room, kitchen, bathroom, the whole 9 yards. Stone walls, stone roof, and actual windows with legit ventilation and natural sunlight. Is it a bit rugged? Yeah. Is it just a glorified cave? Maybe, but it's my cave and it's got top-tier airflow. The 2nd floor became a massive workshop, a solid 50 square meters where I hauled everything: workbench, furnaces, grills, And storage chests, my ultimate industrial zone. Fully centralized and hyper-organized. Marie Kondo would shed a tear. Everything sparks joy when it's cranking out pure crystals. Then I tackled the ultimate engineering boss fight. Plumbing. I relocated the crystal fish pool to the very top of the hill. 10 square meters wide and a meter deep. Sitting right above my house. Boom, she's our new water tower. Gravity takes the wheel from here. I carved hollow stone pipes. Yep, I literally engineered rock pipes using pure telekinesis. And ran them everywhere. One pipeline straight to my bathroom and kitchen. One to the warehouse and another plunging down to the farm reservoir. From that farm reservoir, a fresh irrigation channel snakes alongside all the crop rows. And keeps rolling right into the residential sector. Finishing at a community well. My 4 loyal employees now have running water. Delivered via pure gravity from a magical fish pond on a hill. Riding on the back of a giant swimming turtle. I am officially the greatest plumber to ever walk the earth. Mario can finally retire. As evening fell, it was time for a proper meet and greet. I lined up my 3 conscious workers. The 4th was still recovering in bed. Let's roll through the intros. First up, Ponytail Girl. Shun Xiao Ha, former restaurant kitchen veteran. I can cook. Say less, you're hired for life. You're never leaving. Next, short-haired girl Zhou Xiaomi, who grinded at a clothing factory. I can sew. Excellent. We're gonna need actual clothes eventually, because let's be real, everyone on this turtle is rocking literal rags. Lastly, the big guy Luda Wan. Not much for book smarts, but I'm built like a tank. I'll handle all the heavy lifting. Absolute perfection. Every civilization needs muscle. I started delegating tasks like a ruthless CEO on day 1. Xiaoha handles all 3 meals. Breakfast at 7, lunch at 12, and dinner at 6. I supply the raw ingredients. Xiao Mian is on miscellaneous duties. Watering crops, organizing inventory, and gathering resources, plus stitching clothes whenever we have materials.
Dayun draws heavy labor.
Hauling gear, building structures, and breaking faces if things get rowdy. Then I laid down the law. Living quarters are your free zone. The farming sector is strictly for work hours. My hill is the command center. Completely off limits unless summoned. Water is unlimited, but don't take it for granted. Gray water gets recycled and funneled straight back into the crops. Shift hours run from 6 to 6. After that, you're off the clock. The absolute second I mentioned hot showers, their eyes lit up like kids staring at a Christmas tree. These poor souls hadn't washed in days. Dropping the phrase unlimited water in this wasteland is basically telling someone dying of thirst that it's raining pure gold. Xiao Ha practically warp-dashed into the kitchen. 20 minutes flat. Sizzling grilled meat, steaming wild veggie soup, and rich blood rice. The aroma alone made saving these guys totally worth it. I took one single bite and almost wept. She cooked circles around me. My cooking had top-tier ingredients, but scrub technique. Her food was premium stuff, backed by actual culinary wizardry. The meat was seasoned to absolute perfection. The soup had crazy depth, and the rice was insanely fluffy. This woman is an absolute national treasure. I'd throw hands with a tidal wave just to protect this kitchen. Not bad, I remarked, playing it cool. You're on permanent chef duty. And yeah, I'm eating in here with you guys. Internally, I was doing backflips. Xiao Mian teared up mid-bite. I haven't eaten a proper meal in days. Dejun mumbled around a massive mouthful of rice. Boss, my life is yours from here on out. In a single afternoon, these people went from enslaved and starving to housed, fed, and gainfully employed. Their loyalty wasn't secured by binding magical contracts. Those were just peace of mind. It was bought with a hot dinner. Dinner wrapped up, and I headed back up the hill. Moonlight casting a glow over the city lights. A majestic winged tree shimmering. Golden thorn vines wrapping and swaying along the walls. Crystal fish bubbling away in her penthouse pool. 10 tiny houses nestled in the residential district. Vast farmlands stretching across the center. It legit looked like a city, a bizarre, tiny, turtle-mounted metropolis. Yet completely authentic. Complete with actual residents, plumbing, and a strict dinner schedule. Oh man. I also had Dajuan try binding one of those dead pirates. Abandoned boats. Nope. Total bust. The system flat out refuses to let someone bind a second vehicle. Which honestly got me thinking, how the heck did I bind Shan Wu in the first place? My original raft was completely wrecked. And the system somehow let me claim a giant turtle as a replacement. That's definitely not supposed to happen. Was Sean Wu the exception? Or was it somehow me? No answers yet, just another question filed neatly under. Mysteries I'll totally solve when I'm not busy running an entire city. I laid down on my stone bed inside my stone penthouse, resting on top of my stone hill, perched right on my giant turtle. Below me, thriving farmland, loyal employees and rock-solid defenses. Pure, working infrastructure. Right beside me, 5 completely unopened silver treasure chests. I rubbed my hands together like an absolute cartoon villain. 5 gorgeous silver chests. Oh, they are so mine. No matter what's inside, tomorrow is guaranteed to be an incredible day. I took a quick shower, changed my clothes, washed my hands, and sat down at my stone desk, acting like a surgeon prepping for a major operation. 5 pristine silver treasure chests lined up. This moment demanded pure ceremony. Chest number 1. A primary energy engine blueprint, plus 50 solid iron bars, 30 copper bars, and 10 precision parts. Chest 2. Another primary energy engine blueprint,
Plus 10 des rangs cristal, 20 iron plate.
and 500 units of wood. Chest 3. A third primary energy engine blueprint, plus 50 E-rank crystals, 20 high-grade soil blocks, and 5 random seed packs. I literally had to pause and count on my fingers. 3 exact copies of the single most sought-after item in the entire village. The exact thing every top player was desperately hunting down. The exact piece. Keeping literally everyone hard-stuck below level 4, and I just unboxed 3 of them, like common party favors. Chest 4 and 5 dropped absolute mountains of iron, copper, glass, stone, D-rank crystals, precision parts, and a slick fine-quality spear blueprint. Nice, but honestly, after pulling 3 engine blueprints, everything else felt like the side fries next to a Wagyu steak. Now for the real power play, I don't need 3 engine blueprints. I only need 1. The other 2 are worth more than solid gold. They're the ultimate golden keys to bypass the gate that every top-tier sweat is currently banging their head against. Time to put on my auctioneer hat. I pull up the leaderboard, completely ghosting number 2. Ocean Drifter, that clown tried to rob me blind, so he gets absolute 0. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I hope he chokes on his own iron bars. Instead, I ping ranks 3 through 5 directly. I've got primary energy engine blueprints. Drop your absolute best offers. 10 seconds flat. My inbox detonates like I just dropped a giveaway stream. Linamo, rank 3. You actually have the blueprint? Name your price. I lean back and type out one cold sentence. You tell me. Then I execute the most disrespectful power move a seller can make. I stop talking entirely. Complete ghosting. Let them marinate, let the paranoia eat them alive. Let them sweat bullets thinking someone else is snatching it.
Pure psychological warfare.
Manhwa Marketplace Edition. Linamo cracks first.
20 di rank crystals, 100 e rank crystals.
20 seed packs, 200 iron bars, 100 copper bars, and 50 precision parts. I leave him on read. Chong Fong.
Rank 4, 15 des rangs cristal.
80 E-rank, a fine-quality spear blueprint, and 50 iron plates. Still left him hanging. Bai Ming, rank 5.
18 di rank crystals, 90 e rank.
A high-grade furnace blueprint, and a random skill book. Still total silence. The longer I left them hanging in the dark, the higher their desperation bids climbed. It was like watching a blind auction, where nobody has a clue what the other guy is throwing down. An absolute panic sets in. Lin Mo comes crawling back, dropping 10 D-rank and a massive 50 E-rank cores. Chong Fu counters with 10 D-ranks and a pristine armor blueprint, while Baiming throws in a rare guild contract scroll. And there I am, lounging on my stone chair sipping water, just watching grown men empty their entire vaults. For me, this is what wielding total monopoly power feels like. This is what it means to hold the only key to the kingdom, until someone leaks it straight to world chat. Lin Bei is actually selling engine blueprints, and just like that, the top players lose their minds. The chat completely erupts over the engine blueprint drop. Lin Mo is literally stripping his entire guild warehouse clean. Everybody screaming that Lin Bei controls the whole economy. The gap between first and second place isn't even a gap anymore. It's a massive Grand Canyon while these big shots are sweating bullets. A wildly familiar name pops up in my DMs. Little Orange, do you happen to have a blueprint left for little old me? Oh yeah? What do you got? and she drops 3 items that literally make my eyes pop right out of my skull. A D-rank mined pet egg that hatches into a telepathic companion, sharing a live visual feed straight with its owner. Basically a high-tech drone I can see right through. Followed by a fine-grade furnace blueprint, smelting high-tier materials with ease, running at a staggering 50% more efficiency alongside a fine-grade kitchen blueprint, crafting gourmet food loaded with insane stat bonuses. This girl's inventory is basically an ancient dragon's hoard. If it was curated exclusively by someone with a severe food addiction. She holds the absolute best gear and trades it all away for snacks. One single blueprint for all 3 items? Deal. Fastest negotiation in the entire history of this game. She didn't even try to counter-offer. She honestly would have thrown in way more if I had just asked. This girl values a delicious snack way higher than critical strategic military assets. I completely respect it and I'm going to exploit it forever. Now, back to the final bids from the big-name players. Lin Mo rolls up with 40 D-rank crystals, 200 E-ranks and 50 seed packs while Chong Fu counters with
35 di ranks, 140 e ranks, 2 fine grande blueprints.
and 80 iron plates. I sold 1 engine blueprint to each. Tough luck, Baming. You came in third and survival of the fittest is brutal. Next time try making me your absolute top priority. He practically begs and I'm like sure thing buddy. Consider yourself locked on the VIP list. Gotta keep the heavy-spending whales happy, after all. And right on cue, Ocean Drifter slides into my messages. Sell me 1 name your price. I stared down at his message for 3 solid seconds. No, you sure? Positive you are going to regret this. I slammed the chat shut. Regret me. The guy sitting on 5,000 energy points. A massive 1,000 square meter fortress. A telepathic pet egg and 3 ultra-rare blueprints. The guy who literally just forced every top player in the village to empty out their life savings. Ocean Drifter, you literally threatened to raid me. You sent scouts to hunt me down across the map. You told your pathetic little gang I was the main target. And now you crawling back begging to buy from me. Honestly, the sheer audacity is almost impressive. Listen, if I ever track down your coordinates, I am pulling up and I am bringing Shan Wu, the Thorn Vine, the Energy Tower, and a whole lot of problems. I absorbed every single crystal from every trade.
Di rank e rank.
All of it, and the energy counter went completely berserk. Energy 5,321 halfway to Shan Wu's next massive upgrade. Pulling 10,000 in a single trading session. This is what happens when you are the only plug in town. Selling what everybody desperately needs. I was about to start hatching the mystery pet egg, when it suddenly hit me. The level 4 sea chart reward reveals nearby islands, terrain layouts, and secret monster zones. I completely forgot it even existed, because I was too busy playing Absolute Merchant Tycoon. I yanked it out, gripped it in both hands, and activated it. Time to see what this endless ocean is really hiding. The sea chart turned out to be an absolute game-changer. A full 5-kilometer radar tracking islands, looted treasure chests, and even other players. Blinking little dots on a transparent interface. Color-coded just like a high-end mini-map. 2 chest icons showing nearby, 1 pitch black. 1 glowing yellow after days of squinting blindly at the horizon. Like some lost pirate, I finally unlocked minimap radar. I cleared the screen and went on an absolute crafting tier. Fine-grade spear, forged silver gray and ridiculously lightweight, with a point sharp enough to split atoms. My old beat-up Fishman trident just got instantly demoted to a wall decoration. This brand new spear can one-shot E-rank monsters and makes D-rank sweat. Built a fine-grade kitchen right next to my penthouse suite. Reinforced stone walls and a proper stove. Behold, the brand new chimney storage cabinets. Xiao is seriously going to lose her absolute mind when she sees this setup. We officially upgraded from a sketchy campfire setup straight into an elite restaurant kitchen. In a single evening. This fine-grade furnace totally replaces the old junk. It's bigger, way hotter, and has extra slots. Plus, it cranks out solid iron plates and ultra-precise components on command. It's literally everything I need for my upcoming game-changing upgrades. My industrial capacity just flat-out doubled overnight, while everyone else is still out there tinkering with the digital equivalent of a rusty backyard forge. The pet egg has been incubating for a solid 12 hours now, and by tomorrow morning, I'll unlock a telepathic companion, capable of linking its very vision straight to my brain. Essentially, it's a living, breathing security camera I can pilot with my mind. The tactical possibilities alone are making my head spin. Night finally fell, and I checked the sea chart. Glowing red dots were everywhere. There were way more sea beasts than yesterday, and they hit harder, too. Multiple earranks were just casually swimming around like they owned the place. I gripped my new spear tightly and leaped right off the wall. One clean thrust per earrank and they dropped instantly. This fine-grade spear shredded through them like they were made of cheap paper. The D-ranks put up a brief fight, but nothing I couldn't handle. My automated defenses and reinforced thorn vines effortlessly crushed anything stupid enough to sneak up. From my blind spots, crystals kept flooding in during this absolute slaughterfest until midnight. Then came the heavy spending spree. Let's go. First up was the defensive thorn vine. Level 3 was only covering a measly third of my perimeter walls, leaving the rest totally exposed in naked stone. Honestly, it was embarrassing, kind of like wearing an elite bulletproof vest that only covers one arm. For 800 energy points, I pushed it straight to level 4. The vine suddenly flared a blinding, nuclear green, with massive tendrils erupting violently in every direction, and blanketing the entire city wall in mere seconds. Thicker thorns, heavier armor, and explosive flower buds. Every single inch of my base was finally protected. The system announced it could now snipe dangerous beasts using lethal seed bullets. My own garden plant just became way deadlier than most survivors' favorite weapons. My backyard wall now fires projectiles harder than their absolute best equipment. Next up, the crystal fish pond. Level 2 was already pumping out a massive 1,000 liters daily. It's just not enough anymore. More people, more crops, skyrocketing demand. 300 points invested, level 3 unlocked. 5,000 liters, still barely cutting it. Pump in 1,000 more points for level 4. That fish blew up to a massive 2 meters, and she can barely squeeze into her pool. My pet fish is literally the size of a kayak now. 20,000 liters a day. That's 20 tons of water. I could fill a public swimming pool every single day. I'm packing more fresh water than an entire town. And hitting this contract milestone unlocked a crazy new skill. Water creation. I can literally conjure 50 liters of pristine water out of thin air, summoning it right into the palm of my hand. I'm basically a walking hydration station. I'm never going to be thirsty again, even if I get stranded completely naked on a desert island. Finally, let's talk Lightwing Tree. Level 1 only covered a measly 10 meters. My city spans a whole 1,000 square meters. That's like having house Wi-Fi that only reaches inside the bathroom. Drop 300 points for level 2. 15 meters. Then 500 points for level 3, pushing it to 22 meters. Now 1,000 points for level 4. The tree suddenly erupts in blinding golden light. Its trunk shifts from plain white to a glowing pale gold, and the canopy blasts outward to 30 meters in every single direction. The whole thing towers 20 meters high now, a literal golden skyscraper right in the middle of my turtle city. You could probably spot this landmark from 5 kilometers away. But the real game changer? My growth domain now blankets the entire city. Every single crop planted on Xuanwu's back is sitting right inside the buff zone. On top of that, the domain now controls ambient temperature. No more scorching heat waves, no more freezing nights. My whole city essentially has central AC powered by a divine tree. Crop growth speed. Farming Master gives 120%. Lightwing Tree adds another 100%. And the soil bonus brings 20%, totaling a mind-blowing 240% boost. Plants that normally take 5 days are getting harvested in a lightning-fast day and a half. At this point, I'm not even farming. I'm speedrunning botany. And the fruits got an upgrade too.
Des rangs light fruits.
Can now be harvested every 2 days instead of 3. I quickly checked my stats. Once all the contract feedback finally rolled in, Constitution hit 101.3, Speed breached 100.1, and Strength locked in at 101.1. I completely smashed past 100 in every single stat. I'm literally operating as a superhuman on steroids. I could probably punch straight through concrete, outrun a speeding car, and walk away from getting hit by one all at the exact same time. My energy plummeted from 5,321 all the way down to 1,421, losing nearly 4,000 points in a single evening. My wallet is weeping, but my entire city is literally glowing. The Lightwing Tree was shining so intensely that the whole settlement was bathed in a gorgeous, warm golden radiance. Xiaoha cautiously peeked her head out of her shelter, looking totally bewildered. "Everything okay, boss?" All good. Just some upgrades. Go back to sleep. Just upgrades, go back to sleep. I caught the tail end of their whispers as they scurried back inside. He's genuinely unreal. Stop staring, we've got work tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. I trekked back up to my penthouse, stretched out on my stone bed, with golden light pouring right through the window, like a permanent, glowing sunrise. Warm, cozy, and totally secure. Tomorrow is officially harvest time. E-rank crops are mutating hard under a massive 240% growth boost, backed by a spicy 40% mutation rate. I don't even have a clue what's going to sprout out of that dirt, but I guarantee it's going to be legendary. I shut my eyes, flashed a grin, and drifted right off to sleep, like a guy who casually owns a glowing mystical tree, a 2-meter-long fish, a turtle the size of an island, and a vine that spits bullets. Day 5 of the apocalypse, and honestly, I think I'm totally winning. Woke up the next morning, clutching a guild contract scroll, like it was a winning Mega Million lottery ticket. I briefly thought about launching my own organization, then thought about it for 2 more seconds. Running a guild means dealing with endless people, exhausting meetings, and petty high school drama. Before you know it, someone starts a toxic group chat, and absolutely nobody ever shuts up. Nope, pocketed the scroll instead. Maybe later. First stop, the Lightwing tree where 30 D-rank light fruits were dangling from the branches, looking like high-tier Christmas ornaments. That's an absolute fortune in pure stat-boosting produce. Freshly grown overnight, my personal tree is basically an infinite money printer. Running entirely on sunlight and water, I rolled down to the residential district right at 6 a.m., and the kitchen was already fully operational. Xiaoha had meat porridge bubbling away, and meat cake sizzling while Xiaomian was setting the table. Dezhuang was standing there looking like a golden retriever, eagerly waiting for grub and pretending to be helpful, though mostly just taking up space. And the 4th member of my crew, Su Shaowen, was finally awake. The girl who had been knocked out cold since I dragged her in was sitting at the table, still looking ghost-white but alive. Technically, we signed a binding loyalty contract, while she was half dead. So this was basically our first real conversation. "Thank you for saving me," she whispered quietly. "Eat first, talk later. I'm a man of priorities, and priority number 1 is always food." Then I pulled out 4 light fruits, and dropped them on the table, like after-dinner candy. They took a bite, and boom, the system notifications went off. Xiaowang muttered, "My constitution shot from 1.2 straight up to 2.9. Xiaomian gasped, "I gained 1.5. Dezhuang yelled, "I'm sitting at 4.1 now." Xiaoha's eyes welled up with tears. "I haven't gained a single stat point in days." Just like that, these guys went from starving slaves to stat-boosted powerhouses in under 24 hours. If loyalty had a meter, it definitely just maxed out. I could practically see those glowing green loyalty indicators floating over their heads. Straight out of an RPG. Work hard for me, and there's plenty more where that came from. For heads started nodding so fast they looked like dashboard bobbleheads. Right after breakfast, I locked in everyone's permanent job assignments. Xiaoha got a massive promotion, getting bumped up from the basic residential kitchen downstairs to my premium grade kitchen up on the hill, the one with the actual heavy-duty stove, legitimate counter space, and top-tier equipment. Her eyes blew wide open, like I had just handed her the keys to a brand-new Ferrari. "You'll cook all our meals up here. Whatever we eat, we eat. Whatever's left over, I'm selling for profit." She practically sprinted up the hill. Xiaomian and Xiaowang got put on farming, patrol, and weeding duty, monitoring the crops and keeping our agricultural zone pristine. A solid 300 square meters of pure potential. Practically runs itself. Big Wong. The resource transport auto collector kicks in, hauling straight to storage. Easy work for a simple guy. He thumped his chest like an absolute gorilla accepting a mission. "On it, boss." Time to show off the morning farm routine. I threw my hands up and activated plant control. Seeds shot right out of my palms, and planted themselves in dead-ass perfect rows. Next up, water control. A massive sphere of water floated up, burst into a fine mist, and rained down evenly on every single plant. Seeding and watering a massive 300 square meter farm. In under a minute. No tools, no grueling labor, just pure wizard hands. My 4 employees stood there, with their jaws glued to the floor. Xiaoha whispered, "That's seriously insane," then added with a cheeky little grin, You should have seen yesterday though.
Pure pride.
She was actually showing pride in Shanwu City. My employee is finally becoming a real citizen. My heart grew 3 sizes. But outside the weather was cooking. Well over 30 degrees and sticky, humid, absolute zero breeze. The ocean felt like a literal sauna. I'm starting to suspect. The next system challenge is going to mess with temperatures. Heat waves, droughts, a climate apocalypse. Piled right on top of the monster apocalypse? Doesn't matter. The light-wing tree keeps this entire city locked at a perfect, constant temperature. Everyone outside my walls is melting into a puddle, while everyone inside is chilling in eternal spring. Talk about climate control through botany. Suddenly, a flash of light erupts from the fields. Harvest time, golden wheat, vibrant green veggies, blazing fire chilies, all popping ripe at once. Gorgeous golden stalks, crispy green leaves, and peppers so aggressively red they looked pissed off. Standard crops are hovering around F or E rank. Nice but nothing wild. But the mutations. Oh, the mutations. 5D rank golden wheat, 3D rank green veggies, 4D rank fire chilies, and one crop that was completely in a league of its own. A vegetable so insanely dark green it looked like carved jade, with leaves that literally glowed in the dark. C-rank jade vegetable, packing a major speed boost. C-rank, my very first C-rank crop ever. My farming master talent is officially evolving. On top of everything else, we're talking higher mutation rates, crazier mutation tiers. At this rate, I'll be harvesting B-rank produced by next week. I cradled that C-rank veggie like it was my own newborn baby, whispering, "This one's mine for lunch," and nobody else touches it. I grabbed all the loot and headed straight for the elite kitchen. Xiaoha's got golden wheat bread, stir-fried greens, and spicy meat lined up. She laid eyes on those ingredients, and her master chef instincts went completely haywire. These are insane. The quality, the pure energy I can literally feel. Think you can handle it? Watch me. She descended on that kitchen like a woman possessed, kneading dough and shredding veggies, tossing the wok with one hand, while adjusting the roaring flames with the other. Pure professional speed, flawless technique, absolute zero wasted motion. I leaned against the doorframe, totally blown away. This wasn't just some basic mess hall cooking. This was straight-up Michelin star territory. Hold on, something wasn't adding up. Xiaoha, what was your actual talent before? She didn't even look up from the sizzling wok. A-rank kitchen king. I blinked hard. An A-rank kitchen king talent. I literally accidentally rescued a top-tier culinary god. A woman with an A-rank cooking ability. Was getting treated like an indentured servant by pirates. Forced to wash dirty laundry all day? That's like using a Bugatti just to deliver the morning paper. Sure, she lost her official player status when her ship got wrecked. So the system talent is technically gone. But the muscle memory is still locked in. Her hands remember the craft, and those instincts are permanent. The cooking oil popped and sizzled. Chili and spiced meat slammed into the wok, and the scent. Oh man. That aroma dropped like a flavor bomb over the entire city. I could actually hear Daejong down in the residential block, sniffing the air like an absolute bloodhound. Here I was, standing in my kitchen doorway, watching my elite A-rank chef cook god-tier ingredients. Inside a luxury kitchen sitting on top of a glowing green hill, mounted right on the back of a massive 1,000-meter turtle. Just like that, my operation leveled up completely. We went from decent ingredients and a mediocre cook, to premium goods and an S-tier master. Lin Bei's Ocean Dining is officially open for business. Now with an actual chef. Reservations are heavily recommended, and payments are strictly in crystals. That C-rank jade vegetable was far too precious to just give away. There was only one in existence, so I handed it over to Xiao with 2 simple words. Cook it. Her hands were trembling. This woman possesses an A-rank cooking talent. And even SHE was sweating bullets handling a C-rank ingredient. The second that vegetable hit the blazing oil, the aroma didn't just take over the kitchen. Completely conquered the entire city. People 3 floors down were sniffing the air, like cartoon characters floating toward a warm pie. And the final dish? Absolute perfection. Jade green, glistening with rich oil, steaming softly on a pristine white plate. I took a seat at my stone table on the 3rd floor, completely alone. Starting today, I dine separately from my crew. Not because I'm a jerk, but because of basic management. You can be kind, but you can't be buddies. The exact second your employees start seeing you as just that guy they grab lunch with, instead of the actual boss, you lose an edge you're never getting back. Downstairs, they crushed their F-rank meals, which were still mind-blowing by apocalypse standards. Real meat, fresh vegetables, and instant stat boosts. They were ecstatic. This is hands down the best food in the entire village. My stats actually went up. Who could ever complain about a life like this? Meanwhile, I took my first bite of the C-rank veggie dish, and my stats surged. Speed up by 1.2 points, already sitting past the century mark. Pushing your stats higher now is basically like trying to squeeze juice from a solid rock. Yet this single dish just handed me a 1.2 boost. C-rank produce operates on an entirely different dimension. Then I did something evil. I snapped a pristine photo of my plate and shot it straight to Little Orange. Out there in the middle of the ocean, a poor girl huddled on a tiny little sailboat, chewing on a rock-hard survival biscuit, just opened her notifications to see a gourmet masterpiece of glowing green stir-fry. What is that? A C-rank vegetable stir-fry? Right in front of my salad? I could practically hear her soul crying through the chat interface. Her dry-ass biscuit instantly tasted like pure cardboard mixed with betrayal. Fortunately for her, since I'm not an absolute monster, I went ahead and sent her a portion. She devoured it right on her boat deck, practically tearing up. Lin Bei, you're way too good to me. Then her brain suddenly short-circuited into a weird spiral. Getting all flustered and typing, wait, why is he being so nice? Does he? No, I refuse to be bought. I'm a fiercely independent woman. Girl, I literally just sent you veggies, calm down. I warned her to keep her cheat code luck talent under wraps. And she got super huffy like, I would never. You literally spilled your whole secret in 5 minutes. That's just because I can sense you're a good soul. That's basically a talent, right? I've always had it. Great. Just great. She's got actual luck manipulation. Plus a built-in lie detector. This girl is seriously main character material. From a totally different genre altogether. She straight up wandered into my survival thriller. Straight out of a romance novel, and nobody warned her. Right in the middle of our chat. My pet egg cracked open and a blinding golden flash exploded out, illuminating the entire 3rd floor. Shell fragments went flying everywhere, and out popped a monkey. With coat fur that was ultra glossy and sleek. And massive, bright eyes brimming with pure intelligence. Only half a meter tall, but those eyes, those weren't just animal eyes. Those were an I comprehend the universe kind of stare. The celestial eye. Spirit monkey.
Déranque.
I formed a contract with it instantly. The contract didn't make it grow in size. It supercharged its brain. The monkey's gaze turned infinitely deeper. Way more penetrating, like it could peer right through solid walls. Straight through lies and straight into people. Its signature ability, the celestial eye can read deep into hearts. Instantly sensing pure and malicious intentions. And tracking even the smallest emotional shifts. Plus, the feedback perk I inherited? Exact same thing. I can now tap into what people are feeling. Good vibes, bad vibes, flat-out deception. Panic and genuine gratitude. All of it clear as day, like reading an open book. I glanced down at the monkey. Sheer curiosity, high-key excitement, and a mischievous urge to test the limits. I shifted my focus down toward Xiaoha in the residential zone. Waves of gratitude, deep contentment, and underneath all of that noise, a profound, heavy sense of safety she hadn't felt in days. This skill isn't just a weapon. Honestly, it's the ultimate power play. Now I can straight up tell if someone's lying to my face. If a traitor is trying to scam me, or if a brand new recruit is secretly plotting to stab me in the back. Down here in this lawless ocean hellscape, reading people is worth way more than any legendary sword. Suddenly, the little monkey leaped onto my shoulder, rubbing its fuzzy head right against my cheek, and letting out these adorable chirps that I could somehow totally understand. Master, your name is Yukong. Yukong tilted his head before instantly backflipping off. I tossed him my fine-grade spear, just to see how he'd handle it. He caught it smoothly with both paws, and immediately started chaining insane martial arts thrusts, sweeps, and spinning slashes that looked ridiculously fluid. Precise, natural, effortless. Bro, monkeys literally have staff mastery baked right into their DNA. Total Sun Wukong main character energy. Totally living up to the name. I snapped a quick photo and fired it straight to Little Orange. New pet hatched from your egg. Isn't he crazy cute? He's an absolute beast, low-key regret trading him. Yes, give him back right now.
Lol. Absolutely no refunds.
I listed the day's fresh haul on the trade board. Drop crops, glowing light fruits and juicy grilled meat. Water and crystals were flooding in nonstop. The server economy was booming and players were finally getting richer, meaning they were spending big and demanding high-tier gear. My absolute monopoly on stat-boosting foods was printing cash faster than I could even count it. And then, some clown named Ocean Drifter decided to run his mouth in world chat. Lin Bei is a total fraud. I'm ranking up fine without him. He just got lucky. To prove it, he dropped a massive flex screenshot of his level 4 ship. A 200 square meter engine-powered 2-story cabin with a fully wired electrical system. The chat instantly fractured into total chaos. Some noobs were losing their minds, completely impressed, while others called him out for forgetting I hit level 4 first. Naturally, an all-out fan war started raging over who was actually better. Ocean Drifter just kept fueling the fire. Lin Bei, say something. Too scared? Once I track your exact coordinates, you're going straight to the top of my hit list. I silently read every single message, then casually closed the chat. Wukong let out a soft chirp, sensing my vibe. Not yet, I whispered with a cold smile. Let the dog bark. Talk is cheap when you've got zero game. The second I tracked down Ocean Drifter's coordinates, I'm skipping the small talk entirely. There's just gonna be a profoundly confused pirate, wondering why a 1,000 square meter turtle, draped in weaponized vines, is literally parked on his deck, backed by a spear-wielding monkey. For the first time since getting hurled into this hellscape, I had an actual quiet day and honestly, felt sketchy, like that eerie silence when your phone stops buzzing, and you're convinced it's bricked. I checked out my high-tier furnaces, looking at pristine iron plates and precision parts, the exact 2 resources every sweaty tryhard would sell their own grandma for. And now, I'm mass-producing them, the literal items everyone's losing their minds trying to find. My furnace doesn't even smelt metal anymore. Bro, it basically prints cash. Right as I was mapping out my next big monopoly, Yukong yanked my hair. Yeah, I see them. Wave of sea beasts rolling up on us. 15 F ranks and 5 E ranks. Not a bad little raid party. I was just about to hop down and clear trash, when a brown blur streaked right past my face. Wukong snatched up a fine-grade spear, launched himself off the rampart like a furry ICBM, and went completely feral. First F rank got backhanded straight into the void with one swing. Second got shish kebabbed. The E ranks tried to swarm him, but he just pirouetted right through the pack. Like a miniature, lethal ballerina. Thrust, spin, sweep, 5 minutes flat, total wipe. He bounced right back up to the wall, slung the spear over his shoulder like a total anime protagonist, and gave me the smug grin. Absolute show-off. So yeah, I officially have a personal bodyguard now. A monkey bodyguard who slaughters sea monsters for fun and brings me the loot drops. I don't even have to lift a finger anymore. My official class role has been downgraded to full-time spectator. I pivoted right back to the grind, listed my goods, and watched the crystals roll on in. Just another standard hustle at Lin Bei's Ocean Marketplace. Though the mercury was climbing fast, global chat was literally melting down. We're pushing 40 degrees. My sketchy wooden raft has zero shade, and I'm burning through my water supply just sweating bullets. Parched players are begging for water. I'm packing a 2-meter fish pumping out 20,000 liters a day. So I did what any self-respecting water baron would do. I slashed prices even lower 3 whole portions. A massive 1,500 milliliters total for a single crystal. The regular players went wild. Meanwhile, the scalpers, I could practically hear their business models shattering. From across the ocean. Some poor guy was probably screaming into his raft right now. 3 for 1? How am I supposed to compete with that? Newsflash, you don't, that's the whole point. I'm not slinging water to get rich quick. I'm slinging water to stack crystals. And every single player who survives thanks to my cheap prices is just a future buyer for my high-end goods. This is volume scaling, baby, the Costco of the apocalypse. The rest of the day was surprisingly chill. Death tolls dropping as people finally start adapting, fortifying bases, upgrading their gear, and learning the deadly rhythm of sea beast raids. The village is finally stabilizing. Fewer panic posts, way more tactical deep dives. Humanity is actually figuring it out. Meanwhile, my farming operation is a certified juggernaut. With all these insane growth buffs stacked up. Lightwing tree giving a 200% boost. Farming master talent dropping another 120%. And a sweet soil bonus adding 20%. I'm looking at a staggering 340% total growth acceleration. Standard 5-day crops are spitting out in a single day. E-rank 10-day crops take barely 2. Even D-rank 15-day monsters take only 3. I'm pulling harvest after harvest. Running multiple crop cycles all at the same time. Fresh seeds dropping in every morning. Glorious produce rolling out every evening. My farm is basically a factory line for stat-boosting chow. And look at that, the meat mushrooms finally broke the surface too. Give it one more day and I'll officially have plants growing actual meat. Feeding Xianwu through high-tech farming instead of hunting. The dream is right within reach. Of course, the global chat noticed something was off. Wait, no insane server announcement about Lin Bei today? Where's our daily dose of Lin Bei breaking the game? Is he slacking off? Honestly, the guy's probably just exhausted. Cut the legend some slack. Not gonna lie, it feels weird without a Lin Bei broadcast. Like something's straight up missing from my routine. At this point, I've basically become their daily newspaper. Folks check for my announcements. The way normal humans check the weather. Any Lin Bei news today? No? Weird. Something must be wrong. Nothing was wrong. I just didn't do anything announcement-worthy. Hey, even gods take Sundays off. Next morning, dawn breaks. Stretching out. Another beautiful day on. My 1,000-square-meter turtle. Suddenly, Liu Kong started screaming. I rushed straight to the wall. 3 D-rank sea beasts, all at once. And massive ones, too. Bigger than anything I'd seen in previous waves. This was only day 3 of the new phase. Day 3 and we're already getting triple D-rank attacks? Quick math. If difficulty keeps scaling like this, C-rank beasts show up in 2 days. B-rank maybe a week after that. The system isn't just testing us. It's accelerating the difficulty curve. Survival of the fittest on a strict schedule. Now, I wasn't worried about myself. My stats are well over 100. I could arm wrestle a C-rank beast and win, probably. But the regular players? The ones barely holding on. With level 2 boats and basic arrow towers? E-rank beasts are already pushing their limits. D-ranks would absolutely destroy them. And C-ranks? Forget about it. These people are my entire economy. Every player who dies is a crystal. That stops circulating, a customer who stops buying, a seed trader who stops selling. The survival rate of this village is directly tied to my profit margins. Yukong didn't wait for my philosophical moment to finish. He was already fighting the first D-rank. Trading blows evenly. I jumped down, water-bladed. The second one cleanly in half. And yelled at Wukong to wrap it up. 3 D-ranks, 30 seconds flat. Done. But standing on the wall afterward, staring out at the ocean, I couldn't shake a dark thought. The system is pushing everyone toward a cliff. Getting harder, faster, meaner. Why? To weed out the weak. To force us to group up and see who breaks first. Tick-tock until the next phase drops. Whatever's headed our way is going to be way worse. I hit up Little Orange to check on her grind. She needed deranged crystals for her tier 4 upgrade. And she wasn't farming them because, and I cannot stress this enough, she literally doesn't fight. This girl has been surviving the apocalypse ocean. Almost exclusively by looting random treasure chests. She's playing an idle gacha game. While everyone else is out here, playing Dark Souls. Sea beasts barely even aggro on her. Whether that's her luck stat, passively breaking reality, or just pure plot armor, I got no clue. But she's easily the world's most passive survivor. She casually mentioned she had a guild contract scroll, asking if I wanted to team up. I got one too, but flying solo gets old fast. I've been sitting on my own scroll for days now, debating if I actually want to deal with people, bureaucracy and all that management headache. But you know what? The world's getting brutal and solo play hits a wall. Plus I already have subordinates who need direction. I yanked out my scroll and named the guild. Shan Wu City, boom. No ceremony, no grand speech. Just type the name in and hit confirm. Guild level 1, 300 storage slots unlocked. Private chat room with space for 20 members. First invite goes to Little Orange, member 01. Then a crazy thought popped into my head. Can my 4 contract-bound employees join this too? I plugged their names into the invite system. And boom, they popped up. They're totally eligible, so I fired off all 4 invites. What happened next nearly fried their brains. System holographic panels flashed right in front of them. Not the full survival system dashboard, since they lost that when their vessels were wrecked. but a partial UI, a clean guild interface. Personal stats and their locked talent slots lit right up. Xiao stared straight at her screen, tears in her eyes. My talent is actually back.